We're going to devote the major part of the show to that. We know you want to listen in. You can drop us a WhatsApp right away with just your quick comments. Whenever we get a chance, we will play it. Whatever it is you want to get off your chest on the Commission or anything else, 0614 104 107. And you can tweet as well using that hashtag, the National Pulse. But as far as the Madlanga Commission goes, and at some stage we may cross to the ad hoc committee as well, as far as the Madlanga Commission is concerned, let's not delay a moment. Witness Saf once again providing testimony. Let's check in.
You wrote this, not so. You wrote this, not so.
Commissioners, I'm trying to recall.
What are you trying to recall? Just look at the flow. Nothing appears to have been forwarded. This appears to have been a chat written by you. There's nothing to recall.
No, Commissioner, if you could check there by 553, it also appeared as it is written by me. So that is the reason I'm saying here in 224, I can't quite remember. You see there, Commissioner, in 554?
What are you talking about there?
If we take this sequentially, what we will see is that at 554, what is being forwarded to Mr. Motsumi is 3 texts that General Sabia has sent to the witness. But we do need to take it sequentially. Maybe the witness should be excused from answering questions until we've seen the whole picture.
Yes, thank you.
So the picture continues. You said, let me forward to them at page 224 at 1527. And that's exactly what you did. At 1553, at 553, 1542, you forward to Mr. Motsumi the message that General Sabia has just sent you. 1800 to 1900, I have a meeting at 1930.
Yes.
Then at 1548, this is a few minutes after you've told Mr. Motsumi what General Sabia's availability is. You have a call with him. If we go back to 224, at 1549, which is 1 minute later, you tell General Sabia, 1800, it's confirmed. So if we can just rerun this exchange. You've spoken to Mr. Motsumi. You've then asked General Sabia for a time for a meeting. He said 1800 to 1900, I have a meeting at 1930. You've said, let me forward to them. You've forwarded it to Mr. Motsumi. You've spoken to Mr. Motsumi, and you've now responded to General Sabia to say, confirmed for 1800. What then happens is you have 2 calls on page 224 with General Sabia, one at 1625 and one at 1641. At 1641:33, General Sabia sends you a message, still with the National Commissioner, let's see how it goes. Over the page, on 225 at 1642, in other words, a minute later, you say, should I let them know? General Sabia responds at 1724, yes, but let us see. Sentumule is still presenting. That's 1724 when he sends you that message saying, let them know that I must see how things are going. I'm still with the National Commissioner. General Sentamula is still presenting. So now we've got to go to 554. And what we see at 554 is at 1740, you forward to Mr. Motsume your exchange with General Sabia. So the message from General Sabia, which said, still with the National Commissioner, let's see how it goes. Your response, which says, should I let them know? And his response, which says, yes, but let's see, Sentamula is still presenting. So you've taken those three messages that you exchanged with General Sabia at 1641, 1642, and 1724, and you forwarded them to Mr. Motsumi at 1740. At 1827, you get another message from General Sabia saying, still here with the National Commissioner. You speak at 1857. At 1858, you get another message, still here with General Sentamula and the National Commission. At 1937, you say to General Sabia, are you winning? He responds, we just finished now, are they still there? You say at 1945, yes. General Sabia says, and you say to General Sabia, how far? He responds immediately, give me 30 minutes, I'm on my way. Now, what were you organizing a meeting between General Sabia and Mr. Motsumi about? What were they meeting about?
Now, as you explain like this, I tend to understand it better, commissioners. I was not arranging the meeting for Mr. Motsumi and General Sabia. I was passing a message from General Sabia to Mr. Motsumi, where General Sabia wanted to meet Mr. Motsumi. When I'm referring to them, it's not them as in them, it's them as an African culture. Ubaba siti Abu Baba. That's in English because of in African culture. So them, maybe I just say them because I refer him as Abu Baba. So that is the reason I was referring to that as them. But I confirm that there was a meeting that was scheduled by General Sabia to Mr. Motsumi.
Can I just ask a question, Witness F? You say you were being respectful by referring to one person as them. On page 225, chat number 8. Do you know why General Sabia would refer to them in plural, as in, are they still there? If it was just one person that you were talking about.
I assume maybe I don't want to comment commissioners on his behalf, but I think maybe he took it from me when I say them, then he say, are they there? But I don't want to comment on his behalf, Commissioner.
You see, Witness F, these answers have to make sense. That's why you have to read the chats in sequence.
And when you read them in sequence, it's quite clear that both of you are referring to multiple people, not a single person. Do you want to comment?
That's correct. That's correct, commissioners. But on a lighter note, the intention there from my side is them I was referring to Baba Mutumi. Maybe it was an error on my side, but I thought at that particular time it was the matter of respect. This is what I think it came from that direction, Commissioner. I don't know if maybe my answer.
So witness F, who in addition to Mr. Motsumi was General Sabia going to meet there?
Can you repeat that question, Commissioner?
Who other than Mr. Motsumi, who in addition to Mr. Motsumi was General Sabia going to meet at this gathering?
To be honest with you, Commissioners, I don't know, but I can confirm that he was going to meet Mr. Motsumi.
Were you not present with Mr. Motsumi where General Sabia was going to come meet?
No, I was never present with Mr. Motsumi.
You see, at 1939, General Sabia says, we just finished now, are they still there? And do you say yes? How did you know they were still there?
Because I was communicating with Mr. Motsumi.
If we go to your communications with Mr. Motsumi, remember the question is asked by General Sabia at 1939, and you answer at 1945. So it's 1939, 1945. We don't see any communications between yourself and Mr. Motsumi between 1939 and 1945. Look at page 554.
The reason I'm still eager that I was not there is because of earlier when I communicated with Mr. Motsumi, I knew that there was no way that you could have moved away from wherever he was before seeing General Sabia. So I took it from that angle that they are still here or he's still here. But in my statement, I wrote, or in my sentence, I wrote, they are, but he was.
So you're now saying it's only one person who General Sabia was going to meet?
Commissioners, according to me, at that time, the person that General Sabia was supposed to meet, it was no one else other than Mr. Motsumi. So not that I'm changing my statement that there were other people, as it is written there on my chart. The person that I knew, it was only Mr. Motsumi.
So the only person you knew in that gathering was Mr. Motsumi, but there would have been other people too?
That one, honestly, I cannot say.
Heard so far. This is the National Pulse.
So you thought you were building a business in this economy, but day by day, somehow it grew. You kept going when the freezer didn't freeze, the bucket didn't budge, and the bank balance barely blinked. So you thought you were building a business. You weren't. It was building you. Because this isn't just what you do anymore, it's who you are. And you don't trust just anybody to protect it. Chat to your broker about Old Mutual Insure Business Insurance. Protect what built you. Old Mutual Insure Limited is a licensed FSP and non-life insurer.
What's stuff? Why is there a horse in your driveway?
You right, Savvy. Why drive a Mustang when you can ride one?
What the missus say?
Well, she had a bit of a long face, but now she's stable.
If you need a backup plan, We Buy Cars can sort you out.
Nah, Savvy, this thing is eco-chic.
Stop horsing around, cowboy. Rather get one of these from We Buy Cars.
What's the horsepower on that thing?
More than one, Doff. More than one.
Don't be Dorf, be savvy. We buy cars, geared for adventure, geared for you.
Right, all week long we were saying yes to a first for Africa. For the first time in its 60-year history, the Montreux Jazz Festival is coming to African soil, and it's happening in Franschhoek. So say yes to the first artist reveal on the Archers stage, featuring Salif Keita, Mandisi Dianti's Billy Monama's guitar convergence, and the Kasiban Ama Big Band experience. And say yes to the Jazz Village with intimate performances by Madala Kunene and Sibusile Kaba and Kwanti Lee, with Herbie Tswali and Andile Yanana and Ayanda Sekada. I can go on, of course, including Sisonke Konti. So there's just so many, right? And that is just the beginning. More to follow. Tickets for the Archers are on sale now at ticketmaster.co.za.
You're listening to the National Pulse.
Right, it's all about Witness F. Let's get back to the Madlanga Commission.
This is what you told me, that you will not move the whole now. Instead, is gonna be there for the most of the time or the whole thing. That is the reason I came to the conclusion that he was there.
You see, Witness F, I find that a difficult question to accept because your boss, the Deputy National Commissioner of Police, has said to you, essentially, I'm 30 minutes away, I'm about to drive there, are they still there? And you, on an assumption that someone who told you he was going to be in Bryanston wouldn't leave Bryanston because you don't leave Bryanston, would be there. And so your boss should now drive 30 minutes out of his way on the off chance that he will find Mr. Motsumi still in Bryanston. What's your comment to that?
This is what he said. I can't comment on that.
But you, on your hunch that when Mr. Motsumi's in Bryanston, he doesn't leave Bryanston, we're happy to send your boss off on a 30-minute drive to Bryanston. Is that what you're saying?
I think it will depend on where my boss was at the time that will allow him to drive 30 minutes to where Mr. Motsumi was.
You didn't know where your boss was. You asked him how far. He said, give me 30 minutes.
Can you repeat that question?
When you said yes, they're still there, you didn't know where your boss was. You didn't know how long it would take him to get there because you asked him straight after that, how far? And he said, yes, give me 30 minutes on my way.
That's correct.
So you were telling your boss, at least after he told you, give me 30 minutes, that drive 30 minutes out of your way. I haven't spoken to them. I'm not with them, but I have a hunch that they will still be there in 30 minutes. Is that what you're saying?
I did not know at that time where my boss was. I just received that message from him without 30 minutes.
But you did know by 1946 because he'd said, give me 30 minutes. I'm on my way. So you knew he was 30 minutes away.
Because he told me that.
Yes, but you were happy to let him drive for 30 minutes to Bryanston on your version because you know that Mr. Mutsumi doesn't leave Bryanston when he's there for the day. It just seems strange to me, Witness F. It seems to me that if you weren't with Mr. Mutsumi at the time, you would have called him. And you'd have said, my boss is 30 minutes away. Should I tell him to come, or have you had enough of waiting now? But we don't see anything like that. So we are driven to infer that you were with Mr. Mutsumi.
Commissioners, I will never deny Mr. Mutsumi, nor lie about him, nor his meetings or meeting with Lieutenant General Sibia. I've got no reason to do that. If I was with Mr. Mutsumi, I would have said it. I was with him on that day. So I'm still repeating, I was not with him that particular time. But Mr. Mutsumi is someone that I oftenly talk to, bike with him, travel with him with a bike. So there is no reason for me to lie that I was with him at that particular day. I'm not hiding him. But on that particular night or day, when he was to meet with General Sibia, I was not there.
You said meetings with Mr. Mutsumi, then you corrected yourself, meeting.
No. I'm just saying why. Meeting or meetings. Not that is there any meeting or that I'm having or no. I'm still saying meeting or meetings. I was never part. And there is no way that I can say on that day I was not with Mr. Mutsumi while I was with him. So I was never with him on that day.
How many meetings are you aware of that have taken place between Mr. Mutsumi and General Sibia?
I can't remember, but as maybe it goes or it comes to that point, I will be able to remember. But for now, I can't say exactly because this is what I remember now. Not that maybe I'm
Lines Witness F has denied that WhatsApp messages believed to be between him and the late former Deputy President David Mabuza over arms deal were with Mabuza. The water supply utility Rand Water says it is engaging with the affected metros in Gauteng to ensure that there's minimal disruption of water supply, and the Gauteng Small Bus Operators Council has vowed to continue their strike until the Provincial Education Department has paid all service providers. A full update follows at the top of the hour.
SAFM, guiding you through the rush hour traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting off in Gauteng, the M1 southbound in central Johannesburg, slow moving towards Crown Interchange. The M1 northbound in Sandton, slow moving towards Marlborough Drive due to roadworks. And the N12 R24 is where crash is reported on the N12 westbound after Electron Interchange. In KZN, the N2 southbound, slow moving towards Sabaya Drive exit. There's a crash on the N3 southbound after Peter Brown Interchange, and a stationary vehicle on the N3 southbound at Hilton Avenue. 2 left lanes are closed. in Cape Town. The N1 outbound slow moving towards Okavango Road. The N2 outbound is slow moving towards the M5 highway, and Albert Road outbound is where a crash is reported before Salt River Circle. With your traffic update, I'm Irma G.
This is SAFM Sports with Doming Khapele.
Right, to me, there's like different versions of the Cricket World Cup, but the 20-over version is imminent, and there's news about the team from down under.
Yeah, some good news for South Africa, I guess. A very good afternoon to you, Ashraf, and our listeners. Well, Australia have been hit with another blow ahead of the T20 World Cup, with football. Josh Hazelwood ruled out of the early stages due to hamstring and Achilles injury. The 35-year-old who missed the Ashes has not played since November and will remain in Sydney to continue his recovery. Now, Sean Abbott has been named as a travelling reserve, while selectors confirmed no time frame for Hazelwood's return. Australia's Group B fixtures will be played in Sri Lanka, starting against Ireland in Colombo on the 11th of February, followed by matches against Sri Lanka, Oman and Zimbabwe. In terms of football, Mamelodi Sundowns head coach Miguel Cardoso has provided an update on the potential return of goalkeeper Ronan Williams and winger Monapule Seleng from injury. The Bafana shot stopper has missed two key matches, including the recent CAF Champions League defeat away to Al Hilal, while Seleng is still waiting to make his debut after joining the club last month. And just speaking ahead of Sundowns Nedbank Cup last 32 encounter against second-tier outfit Gomora United tomorrow night, Cardoso began by addressing Williams' situation.
What is important is the ones that are really injured, and I can go on them, of course, starting from Rowan. Rowan had a small thing on one of the adductors. It's not a muscular injury, it's more a syndrome, what means that it's not a long thing. We hope to have him back as quick as possible. Let's see if he can make it up to the weekend. That's what we are trying to work on. Obviously that being a player as important as he is for us, not only because he's one of our captains, and when Temba is not on the pitch, he's the one that takes that responsibility, but also by what he means, of course, as a player. And we should just go back on the press conference from the coach of Al Hilal, how he prepared the match in a different way, just because the characteristics of our goalkeepers are all different, and that allows also different approaches. But for sure, soon he'll be back.
Well, Ashraf, I'd love to hear from you if this is good news or what. Cristiano Ronaldo is reportedly in talks over a possible return to Manchester United at the end of the season. The Portuguese star left United in late 2022 after a public fallout with then manager Erik ten Hag, and later joined Saudi side Al Nassr. Now, reports suggest that he has become unhappy at the club, frustrated by a lack of investment compared to rival Saudi teams, and now he is even reportedly saying that he's willing to take a pay cut to join Manchester United. Is that good news for you as a Man United fan or not?
Who's doing this report?
It's a Man United trusted
Who's
source.
the trusted guy? My personal
opinion, if it were true, would you be?
I think that story.
His
is gone
time
now.
is gone.
The one that he should never have left, but that story is gone. But the one that matters, that will get me excited, if Cristiano Ronaldo says, my heart is with Manchester United, I will be back, and I fully intend to get back sitting on the director's box as the new owner of Manchester United.
Well, it is one of the
now,
clubs that he's
that's the
eyeing.
story that matters, because that would make a difference.
He's actually eyeing Manchester United as one of the 5 clubs that he wants to own. We'll have to wait and see with regards to that one. In terms of rugby, host Australia will face Rugby World Cup debutants Hong Kong in the opening match of the 2027 tournament on the 1st of October. The Wallabies headline Pool A alongside 3-time champions New Zealand, who meet Australia in Sydney on the 9th of October after opening against Chile. Holders South Africa began their bid for a 3rd straight crown against Italy in Adelaide on the 3rd of October, followed by Georgia and Romania. And then other standout group fixtures include England versus Wales, that's on the 16th of October, and Ireland against Scotland on the 10th of October in an expanded 24-team format. In terms of Zimbabwe, they returned to the competition for the first time since 1991, opening against Wales in Adelaide, while France start their campaign against the United States and Melbourne. In terms of cricket, SA Under-19 coach Malibongwe Maketa has made it clear that the youngsters will receive all the support needed to make a smooth transition into the professional ranks. Some of the program's biggest alumni, including Aidan Markram and Kagiso Rabada, who are now seasoned fixtures in the Proteas setup. And Maketa says that they too had to be guided from under-19s as youngsters.
Aidan and KG did it 10 years ago, and KG was quicker to transition into the senior team. So we also must be mindful of the fact that as much as Aidan did it and KG did it, they also spent time developing after the program to be where they are, even though KG did it quicker. And looking at the batters that have quickly transitioned, look at the last World Cup group where we had Luandre, we had Kwena, who also quickly transitioned into the senior team. And in this group, rightly mentioned, Jason has really put his hand up early. JJ Basson has put his hand up early. And also Bayanda Majol has put his hand up early. So from that sense, without having to put extra pressure on these young men, yes, they've put their hands up early, but their development is only starting now in terms of transition into the senior team.
Finally, in athletics, Athletics South Africa has unveiled a packed 2026 calendar featuring major international events and a strong domestic program. The season begins with the race walking trials in Tshwane on the 21st of February, leading into provincial track championships and then national championships in Stellenbosch in April. South Africa will also host 3 World Athletics Continental Tour meetings, including the Hezekiel Sipeng Invitational, Cape Millers Meeting, and the new Akani Simbini Classic. International highlights include the World Relay Championships in Botswana in May, the African Senior Championships in Ghana, and the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow from the 23rd of July to the 2nd of August. And development remains a focus, with the World Under-20 Championships set for August in the US. On that note, it is a wrap from my side for now. I'll have more in the next hour.
And you can just imagine Ronaldo, not a player, but owner of Manchester United. Listen, I'm just dreaming. And remember Ferguson sitting by his side, something along that line. Because at the moment he's been dropped as an ambassador for Man United. Bizarre.
With the ever-changing financial landscape, it can be difficult to make sense of all the moves at times. Join me, Jimmy Moyaha, on the SAFM Market Update with MoneyWeb, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 to 7 p.m, as we break down the key market trends, top financial stories, and smart investment insights, all in one place. It's everything you need to stay financially informed and ahead of the curve.
Right, all week long we were saying yes to a first for Africa. For the first time in its 60-year history, the Montreux Jazz Festival is coming to African soil. You know that, right? It's happening in Franschhoek, beautiful part of the world in the Western Cape. Right? Say yes to the first artist reveal on the Archer stage. And they feature Salif Keita, Mandisi Diantis, Billy Monana's Guitar Convergence, and the Kesivan Amabig Band Experience. And say yes to the Jazz Village with intimate performances. Listen to the names. Madala Kunene with Sibusile Kaba and Kwantili with Herbie Tswale and Andile Yanana. And there's more. Ayanda Sekare and Sisonke Konti. Now, that's not all. There's more to come. This is just the beginning. Tickets for the Archers are on sale now at ticketmaster.co.za.
Ashraf Garda is streaming live now on Facebook, YouTube, and X at SAFM Radio.
And the Madlanga Commission is absolutely streaming. And there's fireworks. We're going to get to that next.
You are listening.
You've said to Commissioner Kumalo that you could never be part of a meeting between Mr. Mutsumi and General Sibia. Why is that? I mean, assuming they're talking about General Sibia's work-related matters, why could you never, ever, to use your language, be part of a meeting between the two? What do you know about what they discuss in those meetings that you could never, ever be part of meetings with them?
Okay, maybe it came out of context. I did not mean like that. Never ever. I'm shying away from something. I'm talking in level of respect. When your parents talk as a child, you can't sit in and watch them in the eyes. You must give them space. So as a result, I was not part and parcel of that meeting. And to come to the point of the commissioner where she says Sibia and Mutulu were discussing his work. I don't even know what were they discussing. So I'm saying in that point, not that I'm shying away from anything. It was just a matter of level of respect. That has got nothing to do with me, because if they wanted me in, they could have come and joined me. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Chescotson.
Witness F, if we go now to exhibit bundle page 202, there's, do you have page 202?
Yes.
You see it 7 October 2023 at 4:30 in the morning. General Sibia, 4:30 in the morning.
Yes.
General Sibia sends you a message. The National Commissioner of Eswatini just died here at OR Tambo. I'm going there now. You see that?
That's correct.
Now if you go to page 673, and this is a record of your chats with Mr. Msibi, who's also known as Mswazi. And in fact, you're describing... now, at the top of page 673, you see that at 5 in the morning, you forward General Sibia's message to Mr. Msibi. The National Commissioner of Eswatini just died here at OR Tambo. I'm going there now. And then a little later, you send a message to Mr. Msibi, morning, Baba. It was SMS from number 1 this morning. So my question to you is, why did you refer to General Sibia as number 1 when you communicated with Mr. Msibi?
I refer him like that as number 1.
Sorry, I'm not sure I heard that answer correctly. You referred to him
as number 1.
But why? Why was he number 1 to you and Mr. Msibi?
I don't know, Commissioners. This is how I refer to him as number 1.
And Mr. Msibi knew who you were referring to when you said it's from number 1.
I don't think so, because he never responded.
But why would you refer to General Sibia as number 1 in a text to Mr. Msibi if you didn't know that Mr. Msibi would know who you were talking about?
I just referred him like that when I forwarded the message to Mr. Msibi.
No, Witness F, you knew that Mr. Msibi will understand who you're referring to. You knew that. Let's not reformulate or deny the obvious. You knew that he would understand who you're talking about. Otherwise, we are now in the realm of beyond irrationality, but madness now. If you're just sending texts without any reason to think that the person you're sending it to will know and understand who you are talking about. So you knew that Mr. Msibi, I think it is Mr. Msibi, you knew that he would know who you're referring to when you say number one. And that's it. It's improbable. It's false, in fact, if you say you don't know if he would have known. You're being dishonest in your evidence. And I think it's fair to put that to you, that you're being dishonest when you say you didn't know if Mr. Msibi would know that you are referring to General Sibia. That's one. And then I have a question. Why would you tell Mr. Msibi that where General Sibia is going, General Sibia's movements?
Thank you, Commissioners. I was not specifically telling Mr. Msibi about Mr. Sibia's movement. I was informing him about someone that died at Eswatini because he's got a relationship with the kingdom of Eswatini, and I was telling him on those bases, this is what happened in Eswatini. Not that I was giving General Sibia's information to Mr. Msibi. And then I further elaborated to him that I got that from number one.
And why did you think Mr. Msibi would be interested in this information? That your superior, General Sibia, shares with you his subordinate in a work context. He shares with you this information because he's going there not because he's a friend of the National Commissioner of Eswatini. He goes there because he's the Deputy National Commissioner. So he goes to the airport and then he tells you not because you are his friend, he tells you because you are his subordinate. Why would you share that information with a civilian? And why would you believe that the civilian has an interest in this topic?
I think, Commissioners, knowing that Mr. Msibi is the person that frequents mostly in Eswatini, and he's got businesses at Eswatini, and he's got a relationship with the kingdom, I was just informing him. Knowing that even though it's from my boss, so I just send it like that.
This is another instance where you share with a civilian SAPS information, because this is SAPS information from your DNC to you, the subordinate. So this is yet another case where you're sharing with a civilian SAPS information.
I think by the time Commissioners General Sibia sent this to me, it was already on the public.
Yes, it may have been in the public. We don't know. I've asked you a simple question, or in fact, I'm making a statement, which is, this is another case where information that was shared with you by your superior to a subordinate, that subordinate being you, information that was shared in that relationship, you go and share it, you forward it to a civilian. That's simply it. And the answer is yes. There's no being clever about it. Witness F. The answer is yes. You shared SAP's information that was communicated to you by your superior with a civilian. You may comment if you want to.
No comment on that, Commissioner?
Thank you, Mrs. Chaskasi.
Witness F, your relationship with
Even new routines like meal prep, journaling, and chemo. That last one hit differently, didn't it? The truth is, over 99% of cervical cancer cases are linked to the human papillomavirus. So if you're a woman between 15 and 44, act now. Ask your healthcare provider about the HPV vaccine. This message was brought to you by MSD.
Extra your A+ potential with free gifts from Vodacom, like the Oppo Find X9 Pro from just 1399 per month over 36 months on a 6 gig red core plan. Comes with free wireless charger, Oppo Watch X2, 80-watt charger, magnetic phone case, and Oppo VIP Care, all worth 18,999. Plus, get 2 months free YouTube Premium. Available exclusively at Vodacom. T's and C's apply. Further together, Vodacom.
Right, so Eskom is upgrading old electricity meters with modern smart meters, giving you clarity, control and confidence. With your new meter, you'll be able to see your usage in real time, giving you the power to manage your electricity with ease. Smart meters are accurate and help Eskom respond faster to issues. So please allow the authorized installers access to install your new meter. If you need to know more, visit the Eskom website, Eskom Redefining for a Better Future.
You are listening to the Madlanga Commission, live on SAFM. You're listening to the National Pulse.
Yeah, I just find it strange that somebody who basically brought you up and whom you respected so much, you wouldn't refer to him as
a big boss. Then I've changed the way I saved him there and there. Mswazi, taxi post, I showed him to him. Then he laughed. That is how and when I left it like that.
Was he your boss?
No, he was my father, not my boss.
You've just said now you must stop referring to him as father because he's your big boss.
No. He said when we address him, even though he's our father, he's the big boss. So this is how I said him the way he preferred. That was 10 years back.
Thank you.
If we can go to a different meeting, it's a meeting that took place on the 14th of September 2024. And it starts at page 51 of the exhibit bundle. And there on the morning of 14 September, you'll see that at 7:25 you receive a call from CAT Security. That's Mr. Matlala. And then there's no contact between you until 11 minutes past 7 in the evening. But what happens before then, we have to go to page 245 to work out. Because at 2:45, at 10 past 7 in the evening on the same day, General Sibiya sends you a text, ask CAT to make a turn. And you respond at 11 minutes past 7 in the evening. I spoke to him earlier. He promised to come around 2000 hours. You recall those texts?
Yes, I do, Commissioners.
How frequent was it for Mr. Matlala and General Sibiya to meet?
I would not know exactly, but I would know that Mr. Matala would send me messages. Vice V, General Sibia would send messages that tell Cat or Cat tell General Sibia.
So when they wanted to meet, they would arrange the meeting through you? That's a question.
I can't say that. If they wanted to meet, they would meet through me.
But you said earlier that sometimes you got messages from Mr. Matlala, sometimes you got messages from General Sibia, and I presume that you were referring to arranging meetings between the two of them.
I'm not sure if some communication was arranging meetings. I'm not sure about that.
But it's a relatively simple question, which is, I mean, did you or did you not arrange meetings for General Sibia and Mr. Matlala?
No, I did not.
But on this occasion, you did. You spoke to Kat earlier, and he promised to come around 8 o'clock.
I'm not arranging. I'm just passing a message. You know, when you arrange, according to my understandings, General Sibia, you're going to meet at, let's say, Mamelodi at 7 o'clock, Cat meet General Sibia at 7. So in this matter, it is when I just passed the message from this one to this one.
So maybe I wasn't clear with my question. So did you frequently pass messages between Kat, Mr. Matlala, and General Sibia so that they could communicate with one another when they wanted to meet each other?
Not exactly. No, not exactly. Commissioners, maybe before you go any further, I'm asking for just a restroom. I'm so pressed.
The witness is asking for a rest break.
He's asking for a comfort break, as I understand.
Yes. Let's adjourn and resume at 16:15. Let's adjourn.
To invite you to call in or to WhatsApp, which is the best way for us to play it out on air right now. WhatsApp a voice note immediately. But it's 4 o'clock. It's time for the news. Here's Ondela.
Thank you, Ashraf. On the top stories, Mabuza's name mentioned in the Madlanga Commission in Gauteng Small Bus Operators Council vows to continue their strike. For SAFM News, I am Ondela Mbana, and a very good afternoon. Witness F has denied that WhatsApp messages presented at the Madlanga Commission of an arms deal are between him and the late former Deputy President David Mabuza. The messages show a conversation between Witness F and a number allegedly belonging to Mabuza. When probed by evidence leader Advocate Matthew Chaskalson about who the number belongs to, Witness F claims that it was Mabuza's nephew Sipiwa's number.
The message was sent from the phone of the late Deputy President.
From the nephew's phone.
From the nephew's phone.
That's correct.
But you save the nephew on your phone as Comrade Didi Mabuza, Deputy President.
That's correct.
Why do you save the nephew's phone under the name Comrade Didi Mabuza, Deputy President?
That is how I felt I should save it.
The High Court in Johannesburg is currently hearing an urgent court application brought by the Northwest businessman Suleiman Karim. He wants the court to stop the Madlanga Commission from subpoenaing him to appear before it on Friday. Karim's legal team is basing their arguments on procedural ground, stating that he has not been treated fairly by the commission. Karim further argues that classifying him as a witness should be reviewed and set aside. According to him, he has been deemed an educated person without being afforded what he calls the principle of natural justice. Meanwhile, the Madlanga Commission that is opposing the application has filed answering papers arguing that Karim's bid would undermine its work and delay its mandate. Karim's legal representative, Advocate Camille Premid.
My lady, the reality is that we're here because the Commission, for whatever reason, has chosen to treat my client differently to how it treats other witnesses. You would have seen in the founding affidavit, there's an extensive comparison done between Mr. Mokhotzi's 10-6 notice and the subpoena, where he's given all the particularity and all the documents that my client is asking for, and for whatever reason, the Commission chooses not to treat my client in the same way. Never mind that there's this discrepant treatment, which in and of itself gives rise to a ground of review in Part B, but we would say motivates the court to interdict in Part A.
The water supply utility Rand Water says it is engaging with the affected metros in Gauteng to ensure that there's minimal disruption of water supply. The utility has cautioned residents against high consumption of water, while at the same time raising concerns about power outages that are exacerbating the current situation. Midrand, Tembisa in Ekurhuleni, as well as Lodium and Atteridgeville in Tshwane are the most affected. Rand Water spokesperson Makino Simaru.
Following the power outage incident, Rainwater is aware of the slow recovery of water supply in the Midrand area, Lodium, Atteridgeville and surrounding areas in Tshwane, as well as the Tembisa area in Ekurhuleni. While some supply interruptions are still being experienced in Tshwane and Ekurhuleni, these are minimal compared to the more significant disruption affecting Midrand. Rainwater is continually engaging the metros to find solutions.
The city of Tshwane says water supply in the affected areas could only improve once the power outage challenges have been resolved. The Gauteng Small Bus Operators Council has vowed to continue their strike until the Provincial Education Department has paid all service providers. Hundreds of drivers affiliated with the council suspended their scholar transport operations following a payment dispute with the department. The strike has left some learners across the province who rely on these buses unable to attend school. The council's chairperson, Jabulani Khumalo, says some operators have not been paid since October last year.
We've sent a memorandum yesterday to the Department of Education. We're still waiting for their response. Please accept our sincere apologies for any inconvenience caused, because this is a suspension of this operation is due to lack of diesel. Our employees are not paid. Our suppliers are not paid. So it's really tough on operators. So we're waiting for the department to make payments as soon as possible.
Ukraine has suffered another night of heavy bombardment as Russia again targeted energy infrastructure in Kyiv and several other regions, including Kharkiv and Odessa. President Volodymyr Zelensky accused Moscow of using the coldest days of winter to terrorize people as temperatures dropped to below minus 20 degrees Celsius. US President Donald Trump has urged Russia to stop striking Ukraine's energy grid for a week during the current freezing weather, but Moscow said that ended on Sunday. Residents of affected areas in Kyiv have been expressing their frustration.
They keep saying there will be an energy ceasefire. Where is the ceasefire? At first they said it will last for a week, then 3 days, and now, well, they have hit us hard. What should people do now? Where should they live?
There is always hope. Everybody hopes that maybe the situation will get better, that the war will end. But no, there is nothing like this in the foreseeable future. The Russians use this weather to target the civilian population.
Recapping the top story, Witness F has denied that WhatsApp messages presented at the Madlanga Commission of an arms deal are between him and the late former Deputy President David Mabuza. I'm on Lambana for SFM News Headlines at 4:30.
In sports this hour, Orlando Pirates face AmaZulu in stern test as title pressure intensifies. Our commander reflects on emotional return as Bulls boost playoff push, and Charles Schwartzel rearing to go in 2026 Live Golf campaign. More details at 4:30.
SAFM, guiding you through the rush hour traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting off in Gauteng, the M1 southbound in Houghton Estate, queuing towards Houghton Drive, and Solomon Flangu Drive southbound in Pretoria has a crash at the N4 highway. In KZN, a crash on the N3 southbound after Peter Brown interchange, the right lane's closed, and a stationary vehicle on the N3 southbound after Peter Brown interchange. In Cape Town, the M5 southbound is slow moving towards Racecourse Road exit and Voortrekker Road eastbound slow moving through Maitland. With your traffic update, I'm Irma G.
The National Pulse with Ashraf Garda on SAFM. You're listening to the National Pulse, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
By the way, besides the Madlanga Commission, any thoughts about John Steenhuisen? And he's got this presser tomorrow officially, but all the story is that he's out. He's out in the running for the DA leadership. Any thoughts on that? In the meantime, we'll get back to the Madlanga Commission in about 7-8 minutes' time, but it gives us a chance to talk to you, and that's why I said, please send us the WhatsApp comments. We'll bank it, and then we'll play it as we're doing right now.
Morning, SFM.
Wait, that one's an old... Yeah, let's get to this here.
A very good afternoon to you, Ashraf, and your crew. I wonder which powers does this Madlanga Commission have in terms of enforcing the witnesses to tell the truth? Because Commissioner Baloy mentioned it so many times that the witness F is not telling the truth. And repeatedly, I thank you, Lotta Monty.
Okay, that's one. Well, I mean, they can only ask them so much. After this, there could be these recommendations for an actual criminal case against them, right? Let's do that.
Good afternoon, Ashraf. Another unreliable witness today. Witness F says he used the word them to refer to one person regarding the alleged meeting he was arranging between General Sibiya and Mr. Mutsumi. What a lie. When has the word them referred to one person? This is not on. Thank you.
This is not on. And like the other day we had this flood of people commenting about the witness that was like totally discrediting himself. Well, I mean, we're actually getting the same story now, isn't it, with this particular witness? Let's pick out some more. Here's another.
Kunjan Ashraf, Prince in Durban. A livable income, Ashraf, a survival income, subjected to all citizens of this country, according to our constitution. Now, my question is, why is our president making it a competition? Why is the president forcing his own citizens into jobs just to qualify for that livable income?
All right, I hear your question. Let's expand on that in terms of what you call that survival income. Here's another about Witness F.
Yeah, Witness F is full of lies. It's full of lies. What I'm seeing here is that he has got the privilege of of having a lawyer, an attorney who is telling him they know exactly that their client is going down. So they are trying by all means to guide him from incriminating himself. But the guy is guilty. In so many ways, he's lying, actually. He's lying. He's taking people for a ride. He's taking South Africans for a ride. That's what he's doing.
Sure, you said so many things. He's guilty. He's taking people for a ride. He is lying.
Hi, good afternoon, Ashraf. It's Ike here. In this Madlanga commission, this witness F, this guy must be arrested, man. He is so crazy. He is very crazy. He is sick. I'm sorry to use the word crazy, but he is sick in his mind. I don't even know why he was even appointed as police officer, because clearly he's making fun out of everything. How can you forget everything but you remember some details, the investigations of Limpopo robbery case? He can still even remember the case number, the suspects' names, but he cannot remember what is being asked. This guy is something else. Yes.
I don't know what to tell you guys. I mean, I promise you when I listen to the calls, and you know your calls reflect the frustrations that you hear every single moment, right?
Evening SAFM. To be honest, I have just heard a witness F statements. Some of these officials, policemen who were implicated in crime, syndicates, they must not be called to commissions. They must just be investigated and go through all the process, not to the commissions. And then they must go straight to jail. They are wasting the commission's time. Just listen to this witness F. He does not remember anything. He does not know anything. Just a waste of time. No.
He doesn't know, or he says he doesn't know. Just think about that. Okay. Let's see. There we are. All right. Here's another.
Good day, Ashraf. Today I have learned that the word "them" doesn't refer to two or more people, but rather it refers to one person, or it refers to ubaba. Ubaba means them. Them means ubaba.
Well, you're teaching every one of us then, ubaba, them. I did say that yesterday, right? Actually, we should get someone to just teach us one thing every day about, it could be anything. It could be about language, geography, history, just something about culture, something about the way we do business, whatever it is, right? Well, it is a tough day for the Witness D. Yep.
Hey, Ashraf. Hi, Shem. The questions are very, very much difficult to this guy in a way that he even want to go and pee. I mean, yeah, Shem, please, at least they did give him the time to go and pee, because I was worried that he's going to wet himself, because I can see that the problem is the questions. In fact, when I heard the other commissioner, I forgot her surname, but it's a lady commissioner. I was like, this question is so difficult. How is he going to answer?
And your description is so entertaining, just so that you know, right? Listen, but I mean, what's come through is the status of police officers themselves, right?
The police are the law unto themselves. They taking the company cars to the, drug lots, people parking there, collecting some bribe and collecting some money. Mind you taking the company car. I mean, that car is supposed to be taught to 13 as an evidence. I just need the people, the community around, because there are children who are suffering at the end, to take in the photo and send it to the certain political part, all political parties, the opposition parties, so that those police can be exposed. But
Okay, now we can get back to the Madlanga Commission.
Tired of paying more than you need to for your car insurance? Jason, a 45-year-old OUTsurance client, is saving big on his 2025 Hyundai i10.
That's true. OUTsurance, they saved me an incredible 520 Rand.
And if you're claim-free for 3 years, you get an out bonus.
More and more and more out.
How much could OUTsurance save you on your car insurance? SMS out to 30754. That's out to 30754.
Saving so much every month, around 640 Rand.
That's right. 27-year-old Liam saves an unbelievable 640 Rand a month on his 2020 Ford Ranger. Enjoy benefits like panic assistance, which sends the nearest medical or armed response unit to you wherever you are. Get a quote now and see how much OUTsurance could save you. SMS out to 30754. That's out to 30754. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
You're listening to the National Pulse.
Right, I tell you what, I did say Madlanga Commission, and it seems like they've come back and they've adjourned as well. So we'll get an update on that in just a moment or so. This is how it goes. You move from one to the other. But hey, it's a double header. It's been a double header all for the last few weeks. So Madlanga on hold, ad hoc committee, the stage is yours.
You are listening to the Ad Hoc Committee, live on SAFM.
Old. They are given the most powerful and most lethal weapon, and it sits on their waist. It's a 9mm. It's loaded with rounds. When they discharge their power and authority, they can make use of that 9mm. That's the power that every cop, every police officer has on the street. But having guns alone is not sufficient with today's criminal. You need an intelligence service, a capable intelligence service, and to do that, to have that, you can't have resources sitting at head office. Resources in terms of an ability to investigate, an ability to trace, an ability to understand what is going on must be at the ground. Because inadvertently, when you hold these resources at the top, when you call it we are restructuring or whatever term you use, you are making those officers on the ground blind. They operate without information that assists them save their own lives, but also the lives of South Africans. I think that is the statement I wanted to make.
Finally, from my end, I've got one last question. You were part of this system because you worked within SAPS from 2004 up until 2012. And one of the things that you testified is that when you faced difficulties through the provincial commissioner, you would write letters to the head office, which means that you've got the know-how of the various institutions that can assist with an investigation. Have you personally taken any steps besides coming to Parliament in finding out what has happened with General Mfazi's investigation, or even reporting to entities like IPID that you are aware are available? Have you used any of your resources? What steps have you personally taken to assist with the investigation?
Thank you. It was not only me. It was a collective of people who actually decided to follow up what was going on. So I wouldn't take the credit. Yes, when I say we know the investigator, it's because of those efforts to actually start to get closer and find out what is going on that such information comes to the fore. But we have done our level best, and we use Parliament as a last resort. I may not be the best amongst us to come before you. I may not be the most talented or the most highest ranking official, but I was trained, as all of us, that the closest man to the radio is the one who must call for Mayday. We are pleading with Parliament to do something about this. Because, as I the challenges that I saw during the period when General Mdluli was fighting with General Mfaz, it led to weaponization of so many intelligence tools that are designed and meant to protect the people of South Africa. And that is why I said a factional battle within crime intelligence is no ordinary factional battle. It's one of its own level.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dojeni. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, Advocate Bongiwe Mkhize. It's now 20 minutes past 4. And I'm going to allocate all of you 30 minutes each until 9:30 tonight. It's 5 hours. I have counted all of you here. Honorable Sangoni, Honorable Sakanyile, Honorable Ngola, Honorable Skosana, Honorable Kalabanat, Honorable Thopa, Honorable Mattheys, Honorable Sols, Honorable Vessels, Honorable James. It's 5 hours, 30 minutes each. If you use 5 minutes of the 30 minutes, it's not a law that you must use 30 minutes. Yes. So the reason why I'm doing this is because the witnesses are 2. And it is no longer going to be possible for us to take the third witness, the anonymous, because she claims that the statement which is before us is not her statement, and that, so that has to be sorted out. I mean, she says, I sent a statement to so and so says, I'm here. Where is the statement? And then, so we can't be dealing with that merry-go-round. If her statement is available, she has it. She must just present the statement now, and we will attend to it tomorrow, than to go on a merry-go-round of accusations to say, I sent this. But the witness is here. If she has a statement, she can just present it, the statement that she claims to be her statement. And that other one who was here in the morning, the procedure is different because it's not coming from SAPS crime intelligence, it's coming from SSA. So the legislation that employs officials to state security is different from SAPS. So we must make sure that there is compliance with that law before he comes to testify. The legal team is dealing with that. They would be able to appraise us of the progress that is being made. So the witnesses that we have today is until 9:30 or until 10 o'clock or until 11 or whatever time members want to take the run. But I have allocated you until 9:30. We are going to break at 20 hours tonight. We must not waste time by discussing time. Honorable Sangon and Honorable Source, let me hear what you want to say.
Don't intimidate us, Chair. No, Chairperson, I'm sorry, I heard the word break and I thought you were going to say we must break for a few minutes before we come back. And I wanted to say, Chair, before we break, there was something very important this witness said. He said, given a proper platform, he would be willing to raise certain issues. And I want us to discuss the proper platform. I think this matter came up during our terms of reference. Would we have in camera We made provision for in-camera, we've never used it. And I think the testimony before us today perhaps compels us to invoke that part of our terms of reference to listen to the witness fully, if that would be a proper platform as you request. It's a plea, Chair, that I'm putting to the committee, that I think we must afford him to say things that he feels that he would not be able to say in a proper platform. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Souls.
Yes, Chair. The Supreme Leader of the ANC caucus has covered me on the first one. And then the second one is one of the witnesses said that she had an audio to play. And I was wondering, when are we playing that audio to hear what she was submitting as evidence? Thank you.
Yeah. So I have timed 3:30. So we will listen to the audio. If it is on the time, it is on your time, and I'm reducing the time allocated to you. Where is that audio? Miss Mashale, did you? Yeah. And then with regard to the information that you want to share with us is it not a classified information?
I don't think this is the correct platform, Honorable Chair.
No. Is it a classified?
It includes classified aspects, yes. Yes, Honorable Chair.
Yeah, so the legal team will advise us appropriately, because even if it is in camera, for as long as the information is classified, that must be done in compliance with the law. We must not go in camera, and when we are in camera, we are told that we don't qualify to receive classified information until we have undergone a particular process. That is how classified information is presented. So it's a matter which the legal team will look at and advise accordingly on how, if we have to arrange for an in-camera proceedings, it must be in compliance. Our terms of reference, remember, Honorable Sangwen, are very unambiguous, that whatever information we get which is classified, it must be in compliance with the existing legislation. Yeah, Mrs. Marshall.
Yes, Chair. If I can just assist relating to the investigation that he referred to.
No. No. Okay. No. No. I'm saying no. If you want to say anything, the members will ask you that question. You will respond. Yeah. You must not conduct yourself like you are a pair of strikers playing for the team that I support. If one does not score, we know the other will score. Yeah. Where is that audio? Who is responsible for the audio pilot? Honorable Ngola, good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair.
All right, we're going to reconnect with the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee as soon as we can. We know that the Madlanga Commission, that has been, the Madlanga Commission rather, has been adjourned until tomorrow 9:30. Right now, 4:30, here's the news headlines with Ondela.
Thank you, Ashraf. On the news headlines, judgment has been reserved in the application of Northwest businessman Suleiman Karim to stop the Madlanga Commission from subpoenaing him to appear before the inquiry on Friday. Witness F has denied that WhatsApp messages believed to be between him and the late former Deputy President David Mabuza over an arms deal were with Mabuza, and the city of Tshwane has begun implementing measures to stabilize its electricity infrastructure following years of underinvestment. A full update follows at the top of the hour with Greg Gous.
SAFM, guiding you through the rush hour traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting off in Gauteng, the M1 southbound in Parktown, queuing towards Houghton Drive, and the M1 southbound queuing towards Boysons. In KZN, a stationary vehicle on the N3 northbound after Harry Gwala Road, the centre lane's closed, and a stationary vehicle on the N3 southbound at Cliffdale interchange, the left lane is closed. In Cape Town, Main Road northbound slow moving through Cork Bay, and Campground Road is slow moving through Newlands. With your traffic update, I'm Irma G.
This is SAFM Sports with Doming Kapele.
Let's start things off with football this hour, where Orlando Pirates face a tough away match against AmaZulu tonight at Moses Mabhida Stadium, 7:30 p.m. Even though Pirates are seen as a stronger team, this will not be an easy one. The recent shows that AmaZulu can challenge them, and Pirates know that any drop points could hurt their title chances. Pirates are unbeaten in 12 matches, yet they remain under pressure as they are level on 32 points with league leaders Mamelodi Sundowns. Meanwhile, Ukraine's sports minister has slammed FIFA President Gianni Infantino as irresponsible. This is after he suggested lifting the ban on Russia. Russian teams have been barred from FIFA and UEFA competitions since the invasion of Ukraine in 2022, missing the 2022 World Cup, Euro 2024 and the upcoming 2026 World Cup. Infantino claimed the suspension has not achieved anything and only created frustration and hatred. Now, Infantino previously received Russia's Order of Friendship Medal from Vladimir Putin after the 2018 World Cup, and despite the ban, Russia has continued to play friendlies against non-Western nations outside FIFA and UEFA oversight. In terms of rugby, Bulls head coach Johan Ackerman says that his side has strengthened its standing after securing back-to-back victories over Edinburgh and the Lions in the weekend's Yasgate Derby clash. The Pretoria-based team produced a dominant performance at Ellis Park, overpowering the Lions 52-17 in a match where they crossed the try line 7 times.
It keeps us in touch, but it's early days. We've achieved nothing. There's a lot of quality teams. If you just think about the teams we still have to play, and it's going to be a big, massive challenge after the break. The positive is hopefully a lot of players will return after the break, and obviously from a selection point it makes it tough, but it's a good position to be in then. And like I said, all I want is the players to enjoy what they're doing, and if we can get into playoffs, I don't think, like I said, any team really wants to play us, so then we give ourselves a chance.
In golf, South African golfer Charles Schwartzel is looking forward to raking up some victories in the 2026 Live Golf League, which kicks off next week following a lengthy break, and having now had a few weeks of preparations under his belt. Live Golf's radar will officially get the new season underway, and the target for Schwartzel and Southern Guards GC, formerly known as Stingers GC, is simple: get a couple of wins under the belt, especially on home soil in mid-March.
Yeah, look, I don't think it impacts. I mean, there's not two guys don't define what live is. And I think you'll see more of it. You'll see come and go, because now there's a door that's most probably been opened in a way, and I still think live is a very different product to the PGA. We move around the world and take world-class fields around the world. So I still think future for live is bright.
And then in cricket, holders India enter the T20 World Cup as firm favourites on home soil, but coach Gautam Gambhir faces mounting pressure under the weight of expectations. India opened their campaign against United States at Mumbai's Wankhede Stadium on Saturday, rounding off a chaotic build-up to the tournament's 10th edition. Bangladesh were expelled last month after refusing to play in India, while Pakistan have barred their team from facing India in Colombo on the 15th of February February in protest, robbing the group stage of its biggest rivalry. Now, India remain favourites to top Group A, with Pakistan expected to progress in second place, and the hosts reinforced their credentials with a 4-1 series win over New Zealand, their 9th successive T20 bilateral triumph. On that note, it is a wrap from my side for now. I'll have more in the next hour.
For 90 years, one voice has informed, challenged, and connected a nation. SAFM, South Africa's national English public radio station. Established in 1936 as the SABC's very first service, the A program, evolving through the English service, Radio South Africa, to SAFM in 1995, shaping thought and strengthening democracy. From a full-spectrum station to a trusted home of news and talk, SAFM continues to lead the conversations 90 years strong. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us.
Economic news on SAFM. Facts and figures you can count on.
As always, Makwe Masilela's got all the big news. What are you starting with today, Makwe?
Impala Platinum Interims, good afternoon to you and to the listeners. And Ashraf, due to the significant appreciation in the US dollar PGM basket pricing, plus benefits of commendable operational delivery, the guys expected profits as headline earnings per share to increase by just over 400%. Ashraf, remember, platinum prices almost doubled in the 6 months, while palladium rose by around 66%, and both metals continued to go up in 2026 until pairing most of this year's gains last week in a broader slump when it comes to the precious metals. And yes, the rand started the session by joining Asian currencies by firming up, and that's after Washington and New Delhi announced a long-awaited trade deal. And days of volatility in precious metals are fading, helping market sentiments. The rand firmed up as the dollar snapped a brief winning streak. Stocks are regaining momentum, and that's after that steep drop when it comes to precious metals, sparked by that pullback from riskier assets. Market participants keep on focusing on the earnings season, which so far is not too bad, and traders' appetite for risk is on the mend after a steep sell-off. And basically, other than the unnecessary noise, Ashraf, the global economy remains sound, and bearing in mind that there's a lot of liquidity, or say cash out there, remaining committed to financial assets. After falling 4% in the previous session, oil traders considered the global supply outlook and the possibility of the de-escalation when it comes to the US-Iran tension. Brent crude up by 5% at $66 a barrel. Gold prices, silver and platinum are bouncing back. Traders are buying the dips. As you are talking, gold is up 5.7% at 4,923. Platinum up 6% at 2,252. And other than Europe, global markets have bounced back, but hope this is not a dead cat's bounce, with the JCs now up 1.3%, with our resources doing the heavy lifting after tanking in the 2 previous sessions. Rand firmed 0.6% against the dollar, 15.97, 21.84 against the pound, and 18.83 against the euro.
My big question is, what is a dead cat's bounce? Thanks for that, Makwe. More to come with the markets. 1 hour of that, in fact, 6 to 7 this evening. Don't miss that with Jimmy Moya.
Ashraf Garda is streaming live now on Facebook, YouTube, and X at SAFM Radio. You're listening to the National Pulse.
Well, lots of comments about the Madlanga Commission and that witness.
Good afternoon, Ashraf Errol here from Durban. Hope you're well, my friend. Always great listening to you and your team. Look, when a witness says more than 4 or 5 times, I can't remember, or I can't understand the question, you know that he's lying. He's most definitely lying under oath. And this latest witness reminds me of the head of the Hawks, who also was probably lying most of the time. That's my take. Errol, Durban.
Okay, thanks for that, Errol. Thanks for the support. I think certainly from the team, Keys, Temba, Vusani, everybody appreciates it. Phineas making sure from a technical side he gives me a thumbs up as well. Here's more of the same vein.
Good afternoon, Ashraf, and SAFM listeners. I witness F. This guy is his confidence and lying. It seems like that Mayor General said why they are very confident, but they are lying. This guy, they need to be arrested. Steps of South Africa, and they are full of corruption.
And as you say, lying.
Hey Ashraf, afternoon to you, brother. I'll tell you one thing, this Madlanga and his fellow commissioners are powerful people. They are really able to induce, amnesia in many of these witnesses. I mean, people are so busy with, I don't know, I assume it might be. Like memory loss is real in this commission. How can it be? This is Mapena in Bumala.
The phrases people use. Memory loss is real.
Good afternoon, SAFM. Good afternoon, Ashraf. Enoch Makosonke Ngola here in Nigeria. Witness F is in trouble. And even his legal team, they did saw it, and that's why they mentioned it to the commissioners that whatever their client is going to testify about, it's all about digging his grave more deeper than it is. So obviously, whatever he's doing now, they just might have just invited us to come to his funeral because that grave is more deeper than it was. So let him rest in peace. R.I.P. Witness F.
And a bit of laughter. Let him rest in peace with a big laugh for Witness F. Let's get to Mankaung now with the Impo. Hi, Impo.
Good afternoon, Ashraf. Ashraf, I'm one of those people who have long suspecting that the way the crime is so escalating and, brazen, criminals are doing criminality openly and openly without any fear. I've been always suspecting that the way they are doing it, there must be something that is protecting them. And today, and even last week with Sinona and this guy today, you can see that the police are in cahoots with the criminals. This country is in danger. I think the best thing is for the president to give a directive that everyone from General Sibia up to those guys in the provinces like Sinona and the Shiburis and all those guys, they must get rid of them and we get new people who are committed to the country. We are in danger. The way crime is escalating in the country, it will appear as if now we don't have police. But the police are here, but they are part of the problem. So the solution is all these generals, all of them, and some of them, they must undergo lifestyle audit because there are many of them that are not even mentioned here that I suspect they are also in the same category, but nobody knows about them. Especially here in the Free State where I am, there are many of them that I suspect they will fail the lifestyle audit terribly.
Thanks for that, Impo. Impo, appreciate it. I'll tell you what, one thing that's come through without pronouncing on these witnesses as guilty or not guilty is so many of them, especially those linked to the police and services, right? They have just been so underwhelming. Like you tell yourself, these are our leaders. Wow. Faisal X in Lombardy East. Go for it, Faisal.
Hi, Ashraf.
Yeah, thank you.
Ashraf, I want to talk about a launch of an Islamic court here in. They started a court in Lenasia, and this was I read it in the Lenasia Times of December 2025. Now, according to the report, it says this forum of law of the called the Independent Islamic Court is to give judgment and resolving disputes according to Islamic principles or the Islamic Sharia. Now, this thing brings to me in two things. Firstly, it must be an illegal court because there's been no permission by the Constitution Court or the government.
But are they giving judgment out? What I'm saying, listen, if they're giving, as long as the judgment, it does not replace the courts as we see it. What I'm trying to say, and this sounds flippant, but if you have the local table tennis team and they have rules, that in fact is their court, but that court can't supersede civil society and the Constitution. So that's just my point here.
But there's still twisty. First, the term using the term court must be an illegal use of that term.
Okay, so you're saying look out for them, yeah?
Yeah, that firstly, and secondly, I must give a vehement objection to the idea of using Islamic principles or the Sharia in resolving disputes. And the reason I say it is because if I'm thinking correctly, the only judgment they will be able to provide is, for example, that woman should be beaten up in case of a dispute with her husband. That's the first thing. Or secondly, there might be punishment by caning or other violent means against women or men who have sex outside of marriage. Or maybe, for example, the drinking of alcohol as well. So I understand where you're coming from. I still have a problem with the idea.
I hear you. Look at you, but you're speaking in broad terms. I think it's a lot more complex than the way you just say, just beating people up. The fact is, people sign up for certain rules within a society, a community, and of course the rules can't contradict the Constitution. I think that's fundamental. Within that, if it does not contradict, and if they have rules that you don't like and I don't like, and if they've signed up for that, then so be it to them, right? But thanks for that, Faisal in Lombardy is getting us thinking. Lodwick in Limpopo, once again, back to Madlanga.
Hi, Ashraf. My input or my take is that, okay, I'm not surprised with the revelations that we get from Madlanga Commission. Our country is engulfed by criminality. And this road, by the look of things, it started from our government official, the president himself. Look now, Madlanga has given him a preliminary report. In that report, all of us, we heard, even if we are not lawyers, we heard that the Senzo Mchunu is unable to explain himself, is unable to answer directly, satisfactorily so. But now, with this preliminary report, we're expecting the president to take action. He's protecting the man, he's exonerating the man. But now, at the very same time, let us not forget that the same Senzo Mchunu is the one that classified the Pala report. So, as we know modus operandi of ANC leaders. They are protecting each other. So, what's going to happen here?
But do you think that applies to every ANC leader or some ANC leaders?
No, some ANC leaders. Yeah. The one that are implicated in corruption. So now, what's going to happen at the end of the day? Senzo Mchunu is not going to be arrested, because he classified the Pala report. Now it is Ramaphosa's turn to come and protect it. The four guys will be Waket Matlala and this witness F that we just had today, Julius Mukwanasi. Those will be the four guys. But the top guys that are actually running the country to come and make sure that we are secure here, they're not going to jail. So we've seen this with, remember, a practical example is look at Kusela Kigo now. Spec in parliament is questioning the people that they have done wrong, as if she is clean. So we don't have leaders in this country. So everyone does as they wish. So, and I'm not expecting much from this Madlanga Commission.
Okay, I get that, but why would we then have a commission? Thanks for that, Lodwick. If we're saying we don't have leaders, they all do as they wish. Does that apply to some people, many people, or all people? I think once we say it's like all, then it suggests that genuinely is no rule of law, which actually means that even your call would be sidelined because you wouldn't care either, and that's not the case. I know that. This is the National Pulse.
As the nation seeks answers, SAFM brings you live, uninterrupted coverage of Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating allegations made by KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Commissioner Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. You can also stay up to date with the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into Criminality, Political Interference, and Corruption in the Criminal Justice System. Stay informed, stay connected. Tune in live on SAFM 104 to 107 and follow the coverage across our digital platforms live on Facebook, X, and YouTube at SAFM Radio. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us.
I have to tell you, we haven't paid attention to this. And I just wonder when someone is going to bring it up. Because, yes, when we've had the commissions, the Madlanga Commission and the ad hoc committee, it does mean that we have to give less coverage to other things. And the issue of the Epstein files is big news. Well, Vuyiswa, you've got thoughts on it. Hi.
For taking my call. I'm just, so much surprised with the world, even the media spaces, on how they can actually keep quiet when you have a Trump that is so involved. Have you seen those pictures? What's happening with the children?
I've certainly followed it. I've followed it every day.
Yes,
absolutely. Well, you can't ignore it. Yeah.
But why is the world leaders so quiet? Because they are afraid of one man called Trump who is doing all this nonsense. The shit that he's doing is unbearable. And
I don't think use those words. You're going to get people who are going to say, "Hey, come on, don't say that on this."
Yeah, but
station.
We need to put some people that are powerful into order. And there's a second
Okay, but do you think
about
it's Trump or do you think it's everybody? Like when I say everybody, like some significant global leaders who are all connected to the Epstein Island.
It's a clear-up of corrupt work leaders in the name of billionaires, in the name of influential people that are doing all these things that we've seen.
Yeah.
But I've never seen something in this world. It's corruption. So why can't it be stopped?
Why can't it be? Why can't it be what?
Why can't it be stopped? Why can't the world stand up and say no?
Okay, well you're doing that.
This man must be in prison. Trump
Okay.
deserves to be in prison.
You're one of them.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Okay, why can't it be stopped? Right. By the way, just talking about all of those things, besides stopping, what about starting? All week long, we were saying yes to a first for Africa. For the first time in its 60-year history, the Montreux Jazz Festival is coming to African soil, and it's happening in Franschhoek in the Western Cape, right? So say yes to the first artist reveal on the Arches stage, featuring Salif Keita, Mandisi Diantis, Billy Monama's Guitar Convergence, and then the Kasivan Amabig Band Experience. And then say yes to the Jazz Village with intimate performances by, listen to all these names, Madala Kunene with Sibosilo Qaba and Kwanti Lee with Harbi Swali, and then Andile Yenana together with Ayanda Sekade and Sisonke Konti. So this is just the beginning, you know that, many more to come. How do you get your tickets for the Archers? They're on sale now. Go to the, ticketmaster.coza, ticketmaster.coza.
You're listening to the National Pulse.
Okay, there's lots of comments from you, wherever you are, in the country and the world. Love to connect with you. Don't forget to listen to podcasts of some of the feature interviews that we do, okay?
Yes, Ashraf. How are you? Make it with them. Ashraf, I think the commission must have extra powers. Those who does want to come and say the truth to the commissioners, if they don't want to say the truth, they must be arrested straight away. Because they're wasting a lot of time. This gentleman who's there now with commission is saying that he's not saying the truth. He must be arrested straight away there and there. No going home. He must be arrested. The commission is taking too much time for commission.
Well, I mean, there's certain rules for the commission now.
Thanks, Make it big.
Yeah, thank you for that. I don't know, there's rules now. It can't necessarily be arrested just because you say so. I understand there's a sense from people to say, hey, more power is required. I get that. In fact, here's another one.
Afternoon, Ashraf. How many times did you say police are corrupt, useless and incompetent, and masquerading as officials, whereas we know them as they are criminals? Just look and hear the witness F. Just disgusting, Ashraf. Disgusting information. He should be arrested and jailed for a long time. Aubrey.
I must say, for many people listening to Witness App, it's like, yo, man, these are our leaders.
Good afternoon, sir. No, this witness F, he's full of joke. He think he's his own house because he doesn't want to comply. He doesn't respect the laws of this country. He must rot in jail. This witness F.
Witness F rot in jail. More.
Ashraf and your team, good afternoon. What a great show, what a great show. Hey, Madlanga Commission. Hey, there are liars in this world. Ashraf, yeah? Witness F. It's better they go back to their sangomas and get their money. No one will win at Madlanga. It's Uncle JJ, the truck driver.
You're so enthusiastic about Witness F. I get your point, Uncle JJ.
Ashraf, good afternoon. The very fact that this Witness E has decided to give his evidence virtually, he wanted to do what he's doing. Dilly-dallying, beating about the bush, not giving straightforward answers when he's asked straightforward questions. That guy who claimed to be a policeman is a crook. You can even tell from his answers when he speaks that the guy is hiding behind his words. He knows that what he's telling is a blue lie. Thanks, Ashraf.
Oh, thank you. Well, I mean, here's a text message from Roy in Plumtree saying, "Hi, Ashraf. I think I know what the F stands for in Witness F. I was waiting for someone to refer to that F." Okay, here's another comment about a caller we had earlier.
Good afternoon, Ashraf. I just want to share my thoughts with regards to a caller that called speaking about an Islamic court that's based somewhere in Indonesia, here in South Africa, in our country. Ashraf, Tina, as South Africans, we don't have a West African, we're not a West African country where the majority of their citizens are like black Muslims, African black Muslims. We don't have those kind of habits here. So I'm very much sure that structure, that illegal court is very much illegal. We don't have those, we operate on one global universal law. We don't have those kind of structures, and I believe that it's an illegal kind of structure. Daniel here in Bryanston.
All right, but how do you know it's illegal if you don't even know all the details? Because, I mean, I don't know either.
Hey, Ashraf, these courts can be very dangerous. There is a court where I come from in Newcastle. It's called the Buhlebo Mzinyati Court. The rulings that are made there are against the Constitution, and many of them are actually against the rights of women, where even customary law does not chase a woman out of her house, but those courts will chase you out of your house. So someone needs to look at them and really investigate. Thanks.
But I mean, therefore, it's a fair thing, not so much religious. There's religion, there's culture, and in South Africa we have a mix of both, right? Cocktail of both. Am I right in saying that the cultural laws and the religious laws and the nuances cannot be in contradiction with the Constitution? I mean, I am right, isn't it? Unless you have another view on that. Here's another comment.
Hi, Ashraf. It's anonymous here. I think there's a serious problem. This shows, like, when a person is employed within the state, the favors thereof that are being done for a person to hold a position. I mean, that guy, according to me, he should be in a mental institution because he knows nothing. So a person like that with such power and credibility, how is it that he can be a normal person and then really come to the commission and waste the day literally and waste everybody's time in the country? Like, who does he think he is? That guy, in essence, he's out of order.
Who does he think he is? He's out of order. There's more to come. There's been a adjournment of the ad hoc committee. They in fact saying they're going to go through till 9:30, 10 o'clock tonight. It's going to be a long session at the same time that Pirates are playing football. I'm just making the point. Make your choices. Right now it's 5 o'clock. Here's the news with Greg.
Thank you, Ashraf. Judgment reserved in Madlanga's subpoena case, and Iran ready for talks with the US. Good day to you. Judgment's been reserved in the application of Northwest businessman Suleiman Karim to stop the Madlanga Commission from subpoenaing him to appear before the inquiry on Friday. The Gauteng High Court will give its ruling on Thursday. Karim's legal team has argued he hasn't been treated fairly by the Commission and that classifying him as a witness should be reviewed and set aside. According to Karim, he's been deemed an implicated person without being afforded what he calls the principle of natural justice. The Commission is opposing the application. Witness F has denied that WhatsApp messages believed to be between him and the late former Deputy President David Mabuza over an arms deal were with Mabuza. WhatsApp messages presented at the Madlanga Commission show a conversation between Witness F and a number allegedly belonging to the late Mabuza. When further probed by evidence leader Matthew Chaskelson about who the number belongs to, the witness claimed it was Mabuza's nephew, Sapiwe's number.
The message was sent from the phone of the late Deputy President.
From the nephew's phone?
From the nephew's phone.
That's correct.
But you saved the nephew on your phone as Comrade Didi Mabuza, Deputy President.
That's correct.
Why do you save the nephew's phone under the name Comrade Didi Mabuza, Deputy President?
That is how I felt I should save it.
Swane started implementing measures to stabilize power infrastructure following years of underinvestment. City Mayor Nasipa Moya says dozens of vacancies in the electricity department have also been advertised with a focus on strengthening frontline operations.
The first job adverts were issued last week for 64 positions in the electricity department. These posts include engineers, technicians, systems operators, and field teams whose presence directly affects the restoration times, the quality of fault response, and the risk of repeat outages. The second intervention is on stronger focus on proactive and first-line maintenance.
The coordinator of the Boycott, Divestments and Sanctions Against Israel Coalition, Roshan Dandu, has criticized South Africa's ongoing trade with Israel. She joined pro-Palestinian activists demonstrating outside Glencore's offices in Melrose Arch in Johannesburg over the mining company's continued coal exports to Israel. Israel imports more than 55% of its coal from South Africa. Dandu says these exports fuel Israel's power grid, powering military operations linked to the conflict in Gaza.
South Africa has now the #1 seller of coal to Israel. There's a ship on its way right now that left from Richards Bay Coal Terminal on its way to Israel. Our coal goes straight into the Israeli electricity grid, which serves to fuel the genocide in Gaza, the military-industrial complex, and the illegal settlements.
Iran's president says he's instructed his foreign minister to prepare for fair negotiations with the US. President Donald Trump has been threatening military strikes against Iran, saying it must abandon its nuclear program and stop killing demonstrators. His envoy, Steve Witkoff, is expected to meet with the Iranian foreign minister this Friday. The BBC's Barbara Plett-Usher has more.
The statement by the Iranian president was tentative. He said talks should go ahead if the environment was free of threats and unreasonable expectations. He seemed to be referring to U.S. demands that any deal should cover Iran's support for regional militant groups and its production of ballistic missiles. Iran has said that's not up for negotiation and insists the focus should be on its nuclear program and lead to the lifting of sanctions. It's not clear how negotiators will navigate that divide.
The top story is that judgment's been reserved in the application of Northwest businessman Suleiman Karim to stop the Madlanga Commission from subpoenaing him to appear before the inquiry on Friday. That's SAFM News. I'm Greg Khus.
In sports, Orlando Pirates face Amazulu in stern test as title pressure intensifies. Athletics South Africa unveils jam-packed 2026 athletics calendar, and Australia's Hazelwood to miss start of the T20 World Cup. More details at 5:30.
SAFM, guiding you through the rush hour traffic.
Good afternoon.
Starting off in Gauteng, the N17 eastbound in Brakpan, queuing towards the R23 Heidelberg Road exit. The N17 eastbound in Germiston has roadworks with traffic restrictions towards Wits-Riffels Road, and Rietfontein Road southbound in Boksburg has a crash reported at Madlanga Road. In KZN, a stationary vehicle on the N2 northbound after Isipingo and a stationary vehicle on the N3 northbound at Peter Brown Interchange. In Cape Town, the N2 outbound is queuing towards Bunga Avenue, Palmyra Road southbound in Claremont, queuing towards Imam Haroon Road, and Lesbiac Parkway southbound in Observatory, queuing towards the N2 highway. With your traffic update, I'm Irma G.
The National Pulse with Ashraf Garda on SAFM. You're listening to the National Pulse, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
Well, keep the calls or comments coming, and maybe for now the comments are quicker so we can bank it because of the commissions that we cross to. And then to WhatsApp us, it's 0614 104 107. And if I think of the big issues that have come through, John Steenhuisen essentially out, not yet, but not going to contest the DA leadership. That's one. And then the Madlanga Commission, Witness F, totally dominating the headlines. Parliament's ad hoc committee, you can comment on that. And the other one, that's also come up about the Epstein files or the Epstein Island as well. Any thoughts about what's happening there and what the world needs to do about it, right? And then you heard, from Islamic courts to tribal courts, of different persuasions in our country. How does that measure up against South Africa's, the laws and the Constitution? Just your thoughts on that too. But we'll be joining the ad hoc committee shortly, not quite now, but this is important too because we, as the academic year for students, varsity students about to begin, the usual story, many of them happy to be getting into that year, privileged to do that, but also struggling with the issue of, show me the money. Financial inclusion is a big issue that just prevents them from even registering for the year. So the TTI group has a plan to address this problem, that effectively narrowing this gap, right? They've launched the TTI Academy, and they are offering a whole lot of, solutions, I would think, around that. So let's find out what those solutions are with TJ Malamule, the CEO of the TTI Group. TJ, thanks for joining us on the National Pulse.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. You've got the solutions. You've got more solutions than the Madlanga Commission. We need to hear you out. What are they?
There are solutions. For instance, you know that most of the students that really passed matric now, 10,000 of the students that got particular will not be able to get a space in either a university or a TVET college. That's where TTI Academy comes in. We came up with a solution to make like 18 to 3-year programs that can be able to assist students, which are normally funded programs that we work with different stakeholders to get those students so that they don't just stay at home and join the 300,000 students that the system puts them into unemployment or not looking for jobs or schooling throughout every year.
All right, so to confirm, this is an academy, but the academy is not an education academy on its own. It's an academy that assists them, to go to university and tertiary colleges? Which one is it?
So what we do, we have bursaries that we offer for students to go to universities and TVET colleges. Then those who can't make it to TVET colleges and universities, we put them through the academy. So the academy can be able to assist them with doing skills that are future focused, like cybersecurity, something in AI, so they can get qualifications. They can also be able to get employment, maybe after a year or 18 months or so.
Okay, well, that sounds good. So something from the academy side. So that part will be recognized, I take it, right? In terms of the, as you say, the example of cybersecurity and many other things, whatever qualification they will go through with you would be recognized and would hopefully place them in the workspace.
So we do like things like data science, AI courses, something that has to do with entrepreneurship. And also the other thing that we do differently from all the other people that are trying to do what we do. The final 3 months or so, we try to push students to either try to become employers. We teach them full entrepreneurship for them to say, if I did plumbing, instead of me just going to try to look for a job as a plumber, how can I do this? How can I register this as a business and use the business for me to start trading? And so that instead of looking for a job, I can start hiring other young people and we can start trying to grow the economy.
So for this year, how many students are you expecting to go through the academy?
I'll just give you the statistics of last year. We're able to take students, 5,000 students nationwide that we're able to work with, and they all are going to be graduating now in March. And we're trying to push as much as possible, working with stakeholders and most of the sponsors. That gets us to be able to do this work and be able to help these students for them to finish their higher education.
So sponsors will fund the cost. So I take it then the students then don't pay because these are students who can't afford otherwise, right?
Almost everyone now can afford Ashraf. So
that's true.
We are trying to make sure that these students get funded courses. That's why we work with stakeholders, with Corporate South Africa, and we've got most sponsors that gets to put students through this. They pay for them. Obviously, they'll take the money from a CSI. They'll get the money also from for their BE points, but we get to run a wraparound program that makes sure that these students are work ready, other than just them going out to get papers, and you find that they don't have skills that they can be able to sell in the marketplace.
Well, listen, I often talk about building champions and building a champion nation. This is exactly the type of interventions we need multiplied. So you are completely in sync with my own vision as well for the country, right? In terms of these students, how do you identify them? How do they get to know you and you get to know them? How do you place them?
Yeah, first way of knowing us is that we are here now on SAFM, but they can also visit our website, www.ttigroup.co.za. Then they can be able to choose courses there, and we'll be able to assist them, and we'll match them with funded programs that can be able to take them forward, that can be able to assist them. So on our website, on Facebook, on Instagram, and all the other social media, they can be able to find us, TTI Group, or just me, TJ Malamule. They can just ask me questions, inbox me, and my team will be able to work with that to make sure that we do get to help these students. We are really passionate about students not staying at home after matric, because that's where we are solving the issue of unemployment, crime, and all the other issues. So if we can be able to help as many as we can, we'll be very happy, and the country will be a better place.
Well, this sounds terrific. What then about the other students, the ones that you are placing in terms of support? They already accepted at varsities. They're struggling with payments there. What do you do for them?
Those ones, if you're passing nicely with 75 average, you can just go to www.ttibursaries.co.za. You can be able to apply for a bursary there. Most of the big corporates, their bursaries are managed by us, so you can be able to apply for a bursary with us there on the website, and we can be able to assist you. Or you can also go through the social media, send us information. You just need to be passing with 75% average. You must send us a registration letter to show that you're already at university. Send us a nice motivational letter, and let us see if we can be able to assist you.
So to confirm, this is a 75% average at matric, not already
at matric.
But that's pretty steep, right? I mean, you're talking of then the top level achievers already, so a lot of them will still not be supported by you.
100%. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to get the best of the best, and those who did not make it and who can't be able to go through, that's why we have the academy to be able to assist them. You can do that, you upgrade yourself, you get ready, then when you are ready, maybe you can be able to use the certificate, because our qualifications are also accredited, so you can use that for you to be able to get into any university, because you would have done well on the other side.
Then
so it's giving you some second opportunity.
All right, so within the 75% is how long have you been doing that now?
We've been doing that from the past for over a decade. We've been doing this for over a decade. It's only now that we are trying to take as many students as possible. We're doing this at a smaller scale, but now we've moved to where we are able to do as up to 7,000 students a year. So It's a very big number. We are in all TVET colleges and in all universities. At any given university, if you get there and you say you're looking for students that are funded by TTI bursaries, there'll be 10 to 15 to 20 to 100 students at other instances.
Okay, well, look, this is fabulous. I'm embarrassed to say you've been doing it for a decade and I don't know a thing about it, which is ridiculous, because I often look out for champions like yourself. I mean, it's fabulous that we know about it now, right? What for you is your biggest challenge then? Because clearly you're going to get people listening in. It'll be shared on social media. More people are going to apply. Obviously, you have capabilities. Your funding also can stop it. So say, what are your biggest challenges and needs going forward?
The biggest challenges mostly will be more funding. If corporate South Africa can come with us and come together with us and partner with us, and we can be able to make a big difference. Also, to be able, the other bigger thing is to meet the unserved markets. The deep rural. You look at Malamulele and all the deep rurals in Limpopo, Eastern Cape, and KZN and Northern Cape, for us to be able to reach to as many people as possible. But all those things, as you said before, show me the money. When the money is there, when we are partnering with corporates, we can be able to make sure that we deliver as many students as possible and we're able to reach as many students as possible.
And I mean, do you find corporates do help? Because we often get people listening in on these shows, these big business corporates, they just skin the profits. They're not interested in us. Are corporates coming forward and they're wanting to assist?
Yeah, no, they are. There are several of them that we do work with now, but I always think we can do more. Because what also we are trying to run away, we don't want corporate that are going to just dump money and go to sleep. The ones that we are going to partner together so we can be able to create programs and make environments that gets these students to be employed at the end of the day. For instance, like giving them learnerships, like being able to do job shadowing, like just also assisting us. We do what we call psychosocial support for our students. We do a full wellness program for our students. So it means the final year of all our students, even the ones at university, we get them work ready. We have to place them in other corporate environments for them to understand that whatever they studied in the lecture room and what is at workplace are normally different. So we try to incorporate as much as possible. And with good relationships and with a lot of corporates coming to work together with us, we can be able to achieve that.
Okay. So is that the core business of the TTI group, or do you do something else?
It's a group of companies. That's actually what we are doing now. We're just trying to focus on skills development. Our motto is we are helping at Andy crossover. So in this part of the business, we are trying to help as many young people to cross over to the other side. But if you would know, like for instance, we'll do a course on cyber security. We'll have a cyber security company that it's part of the group. We'll do something on solar. We do have a solar company that's running. So most of the students that get to go through the programs, we also have the ability to put them into some of the work to get practical work. Others who get to become exceptional, we're able to also get to employ them.
Okay,
so we have a lot of other companies that we work together with.
Sounds absolutely fabulous. I'm looking at the logo just finally of your TTI group, and it's got a big foot and a small foot. Tell me about that. There has to be a reason behind that.
So if you look at the big logo, if you look at the color is it's yellow. Yellow it mostly shows poverty. If you look at any brand that goes with yellow, it's mostly because they are selling low pricing. Most of the things are low price. I won't mention some of the food that brands that are using yellow. When you look at the black represents the corporate. So the corporate, the big leg is followed by the small leg. In other words, the big corporate can be able to help us to follow suit and build the economy, irrespective of where it is.
Okay, now I know. Big brother, small brother, whichever one it is, they certainly coming together in walking in unison. Much appreciate your time, and certainly lots to learn. And I think be inspired by absolutely with regard to this type of conversation. So I'm going to suggest people look it out. TTI Group launching the TTI Academy, which is there to bridge this funding gap that we all struggle with. TJ Malamule, CEO of the TTI Group, saying with yellow it's all about poverty. I think Kaiser Chiefs supporters will be completely offended by that, but that's their problem indeed. Much appreciated your time with the National Pulse. Thank you.
The Morning Brief.
You were saying something about it being spelled in isiXhosa, but it's not actually an isiXhosa word. Say a bit more about that.
Yes. Gqeberha coming from the Khoi and San languages. You know, there are many of them in those groups, Khoi and San languages. There's nothing called Khoi San as a language. It's just a group of people. There are people who are called Khoi, there are people who are called San. And then they form, they are bunched together. But they've got different languages. So Gqeberha is coming from one of those languages. But now, when it came now to the spelling of the tongue, then the spelling now had isiXhosa influence. Instead of going deep and check as to what exactly, how this name should be spelled, the language it comes from.
Dr. Xolisa Chongolo, who serves as the Eastern Cape Senior Provincial Manager for the Pan-South African Language Board.
Tulasizwe Simelane on The Morning Brief. X at SFM Radio and at Ashraf Garda.
Right, what we're going to do now, Hudson, keep the comments coming. Just comment about the TTI Group and all the other things we've discussed. Keep them coming. WhatsApp comments, Tweet as well if you like. Hashtag The National Pulse. Tag me, Ashraf Garda, and SAFM Radio. But let's get back now to what's going to be a long session well after we get home for Parliament's ad hoc committee.
You are listening to the Ad Hoc Committee live on SAFM.
But my situation have absolutely nothing to do with the PKTT. So I don't understand why does it did it influence? My situation had to do with exposing corruption in the South African Police Service. And the minister came here and he said that I used to see her post on Facebook. And I thought that minister never spoke to me and I never spoke to him. The person whom I spoke in the minister's office was Mr. Cedric Nkabinde. Also not relating to the PKT. I referred people who have, and I specifically mentioned the Cindy Somagaga case when I spoke to Cedric Nkabinde. So I fail to understand how can the fact that I've been exposing corruption in SAPSA 2008 now influence the minister to just ban the PKTT on 31st September 2024. Doesn't make sense. The PKT have been established in 2019. I started to blow the whistle in 2008. And now in 2024, come the minister, and now it seems like my exposure of corruption that had nothing to do with the PKTT has now influenced the decision of the minister.
No, it's fine. Thanks. Thanks about that.
Okay.
Again, I'm coming to you, sir. In your affidavit, you indicate that officers were not assessed and sit again Gokukusela. Thank you. In your affidavit, you indicate that officers were assessed not by skill, integrity, or experience, but put by loyalty to specific, power blocks. That is their promotion. It came about being loyal to a specific power block. Can you assist me? Are you talking about the blocks within power blocks within the crime intelligence?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Put plainly, I know Mdluli promoted his girlfriend there in the Eastern Cape, made a captain. It's not a secret.
Who's that girlfriend?
General Mdluli promoted his girlfriend there.
Who's that girlfriend,
I just forgot the name of that lady, but I can give it to the committee. He promoted it. It wasn't something that was hidden, you know. So why I say promotions were not merit-based and were based on loyalties. I myself, I was going to be a colonel, but because I refused to give testimony or to give false evidence, they decide, no, you are not going to become this. So it is from that background where I say what I witnessed within crime intelligence was not necessarily people who were being promoted on their ability to actually assist in the fight against crime, but being loyal to the general, the divisional commissioner at the time.
So a power block can be formed by one person?
Yes.
Just for interest's sake, because he is in a senior position, can use his power.
No, definitely.
It's not a cabal of some people.
Well, I can't say I can't dismiss a hypothesis that says it's not a cabal of people. I'll give you another example with this thing of the withdrawal of posts. When I was there were posts that were advertised. When they realized that not the right candidates or the preferred candidates must be promoted, They withdraw the posts. That's why I was saying earlier, same script, different cast. But they're
Some
using.
posts were not being advertised.
Well, they
would
withdraw.
simple,
They
appoint.
advertise. After advertising, when they realize, no, man, it's not the right people that need to actually get appointed.
General Mhluli's girlfriend, was the post advertised?
Yeah, it was advertised.
It was
It was
advertised.
an external advertisement. One of those which allow lateral placement. So even if you were coming from the private sector and you were a lowest, even if you were unemployed, you could occupy a senior rank within the SAPS. It was one of those appointments.
You suggest that the committee must also weigh the consequences of centralizing dockets and disbanding field-driven units, as seen with the removal of the PKTT and the 121 case dockets from KwaZulu-Natal. Further that, in fact, the part of a broader sabotage of independent policing. Can you elaborate on the broader sabotage of independent policing that you're talking about?
Let me sketch this scenario to you.
Okay.
Something that I've witnessed on the ground. You are investigating a criminal network. That is what the PKTT was doing. And I'm going to also supplement this with already what has been testified at the Madlanga Commission. Whilst you are investigating as this PKTT, you receive an instruction to disband. Now, understand this. The SAPS is a semi-military organization. It's not tomorrow. If I say withdraw, you withdraw and you do it now. So when the instruction now comes and and before I actually make this point, understand that it's already now common knowledge that the PKTT actually utilized intelligence as part of its strategy and its approach. So it meant that it would utilize basic information at a level of overt structures. Perhaps it would also utilize deep cover agents to infiltrate the network of the people being investigated. Now here comes this letter on the 31st. This letter disbands the PKTT. Once it disbands it, what does Ket Matlala do? What would I do as Ket Matlala? I would say to my people, whoever leaves in the next 2 weeks, I know who is a mole. I know who is a spy inside. It inadvertently exposes those who would have been able to proceed as far as infiltrating the network of the people who are targets. Those are the real consequences on the ground. But a minister's power and instruction has a ripple effect within law enforcement. I can tell you for free, the minute that the letter was received, a national instruction is issued. That national instruction that was issued disbands whatever authorizations that people on the ground, agents on the ground actually had. So what it would have done, it would have immediately, one, exposed people who had been closer to the network of Mr. Matala. Two, it also poses a danger now because every operation that takes place must have a life cycle. You enter as an agent focusing on a target. You build up the information, but it has a climax. You reach a point where there is the reveal, where you say, I am an agent, I am a police officer, and the culprit is taken to court and you testify. But when you break that cycle and it does not run its full cycle, you stand the risk of exposing people who may have been used as deep cover agents. And that is where I say, these decisions that are taken at head office, particularly when they do not consult forces on the ground, have serious implications. And perhaps if there is more consultation, particularly from people who are operating within the units, you would have decisions that are taken that lead to a more, even if the PKTT was eventually dissolved, but before you do it, because by nature, the investigations that law enforcement actually undertakes, it involves people's lives, which you must at all times always protect before you give an instruction or a command.
Okay, there we are. Lots to consider from those points. Let's pause on that. We'll get back to the commission as soon as we can. Well, not commission, the ad hoc committee, in fact. 5:30, here's the news headlines with Greg.
In the headlines, it's emerged that Witness F, who's testifying before the Madlanga Commission, shared sensitive police information with a civilian. Judgment's been reserved on the application of Northwest businessman Suleiman Karim to stop the Madlanga Commission from subpoenaing him to appear before the inquiry. And the Department of Correctional Services says 7 unnatural deaths were reported in their prisons in the first 3 quarters of the 2025-26 financial year. More details on those stories and other news at 6 o'clock.
SAFM, guiding you through the rush hour traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting off in Gauteng, the M1 southbound queuing towards Omonde, the N12 R24 westbound in Bedfordview, queuing on both routes towards Gilulis interchange, and the N1 northbound in Midrand, queuing towards Samrand Road. In KZN, a stationary vehicle on the N3 northbound after Key Ridge, a stationary vehicle also on the N2 southbound after Umgeni Road. In Cape Town, the N2 outbound is slow moving towards Robert Sobukwe Road, the R44 queuing through central Stellenbosch, and Belmont Road in Rondebosch has heavy traffic between Main Road and Campground Road. With your traffic update, I'm Irma G.
This is SAFM Sports with Duming Khapele.
In your sports this hour, Orlando Pirates face a tough away match against AmaZulu tonight at Moses Mabhida Stadium at 7:30 p.m. Even though Pirates are seen as the stronger team, this will not be an easy one, as their recent form shows that AmaZulu can challenge them, and Pirates know that any dropped points could hurt their title chances. Pirates are unbeaten in 12 matches, yet they remain under pressure as they are level on 32 points with league leaders Mamelodi Sundowns. Talking about Mamelodi Sundowns, head coach Miguel Cardoso has provided an update on the potential return of goalkeeper Ronald Williams and winger Munapule Saleng from injury. The Bafana shot stopper has missed 2 key matches, including the recent CAF Champions League defeat away to Al Hilal, while Saleng is still waiting to make his debut after joining the club last month.
What is important is the ones that are really injured, and I can go on them, of course, starting from Rowan. Rowan had a small thing on one of the adductors. It's not a muscular injury, it's more a syndrome, what means that it's not a long thing. We hope to have him back as quick as possible. Let's see if he can make it up to the weekend. That's what we are trying to work on. Obviously that being a player as important as he is for us, not only because he's one of our captains, and when Temba is not on the pitch, he's the one that takes that responsibility, but also by what he means, of course, as a player. And we should just go back on the press conference from the coach of Al Hilal, how he prepared the match in a different way, just because the characteristics of our goalkeepers are all different, and that allows also different approaches. But for sure, soon he'll be back.
Miguel also says that Saleng should be on the field in the next week or so. Still staying with football, Ukraine's sports minister has slammed FIFA President Gianni Infantino as irresponsible after he suggested lifting the ban on Russia. Russian teams have been barred from FIFA and UEFA competitions since the invasion of Ukraine in 2022, missing the 2022 World Cup, Euro 2024 and the upcoming 2026 World Cup. Now, Infantino claimed the suspension has not achieved anything and only created frustration and hatred. Infantino previously received Russia's Order of Friendship Medal from Vladimir Putin after the 2018 World Cup, and despite the ban, Russia has continued to play friendlies against non-Western nations. outside FIFA and UEFA oversight. In terms of rugby, hosts Australia will face Rugby World Cup debutants Hong Kong in the opening match of the 2027 tournament on the 1st of October in Perth. The Wallabies headline Pool A alongside three-time champions New Zealand, who meet Australia in Sydney on the 9th of October after opening against Chile. And holders South Africa, they begin their bid for the third straight crown against Italy, and that is on the 3rd of October, followed by Georgia and Romania. Other standout group fixtures include England versus Wales on the 16th of October, and Ireland against Scotland on the 10th of October in an expanded 24-team format, and Zimbabwe returned to the competition for the first time since 1991, opening against Wales in Adelaide, while France start their campaign against United States in Melbourne. In terms of athletics South Africa has unveiled a packed 2026 calendar, and it's featuring major international events and a strong domestic program. The season begins with race walking trials in Tshwane, and that is on the 21st of February, leading into provincial track championships and the national championships in Stellenbosch in April. Now, South Africa will also host 3 World Athletics Continental Tour meetings, including the Ezekiel Sipeng Invitational, Cape Milers meeting, and the new Akani Simbini Classic. International highlights include the World Relay Championships in Botswana in May, the African Senior Championships in Ghana, and the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. That is from the 23rd of July to the 2nd of August, and development remains a focus with the World Under-20 Championships set for August in the US. In terms of golf, South African golfer Charles Schwartzel is looking forward to raking up some victories in the 2026 Live Golf League, which kicks off from the 4th to the 7th of February, following a lengthy break and having now had a few weeks of preparations under his belt. He is saying he's rearing to go. The target for Schwartzel and the Southern Gods GC, formerly known as Stingers GC, is simple. Get a couple of wins under the belt, especially on home soil in mid-March.
Yeah, look, I don't think it impacts. I mean, it's not two guys don't define what live is. And I think you'll see more of it. You'll see come and go, because now there's a door that's most probably been opened in a way, and I still think live is a very different product to the PGA. We move around the world and take world-class fields around the world. So I still think future for live is bright.
So Ashraf, the Betway Premiership title race intensifies. The big question is, will Pirates continue to try to push to be at the top of the table? Because a win for them tonight will see them go above Sundowns.
I see Keys is wearing a Pirates top.
Yeah. He's always wearing one.
Temba's not, but he probably will wear it to win tomorrow. That's just the way it works in this place.
So tomorrow it'll be all black. Is that what you assume?
Well, unless the rugby team complains, yeah. But if they win, I expect a lot of all black, yes.
Well, that said, it is a wrap from my side.
Economic news on SAFM. Facts and figures you can count on.
Right, Jimmy, interesting. I mean, I sort of go back to the time when I was a lighty and the rand was something like 2 rands to the dollar, or maybe even 80 cents to the dollar, something along that line. You want to talk about where the rand is right now in terms of par for the course or not?
Good afternoon, Ashraf. Good afternoon to the listeners. I'm certainly going to be taking a look at that. We see the rand at the moment against the US dollar at 15 rand 96. It briefly dipped above the 16 rand level. We've seen it as low as 15 rand 67 just this year. So there's a lot that has been moving the rand, and we get an annual index from the guys that put it together. It's called the Big Mac Index, and it basically looks at purchasing power parity and then basically gives us a better fair valuation of where a currency should be valued. It doesn't just look at the rand, it looks at almost all the currencies around the world. And according to that index, it suggests that the rand should be valued closer to the 9 rand level against the US dollar. So I'm going to take a look at that, get a look at some of the factors that drive those decisions and how the rand is being priced. We're going to see if perhaps some of the good factors that we've been seeing out of South Africa could potentially push the rand to stronger territory, or if this is the best it's going to get for the rand at the moment. We're also going to have a conversation taking a look at the tax debt that the South African Revenue Services have confirmed. They've got around more than 500 billion rand of debt that remains uncontested and yet uncollected as well. We're going to take a look at that and see what it means for the South African Revenue Services. We know this month we've got the all-important budget speech, which we will also get an indication in that budget speech of what revenue collections have been like and the efforts of the South African Revenue Services. We're going to take a look at what it is that they could potentially be looking to do to recover this more than 500 billion rand that they have not yet been able to collect from taxpayers. We're also going to have a conversation taking a look at the new rand-backed stable coin that was the product of collaboration between various parties in South Africa, some of them including Sanlam, Luno, Easy Equities, amongst others. We're going to take a look at this new stable coin that's been created, this new digital currency, and we're going to see what its intended use is there and how it is that we're going to be able to benefit from it. Then we're going to have a conversation around the infrastructure or investment pipeline that we have in South Africa. According to a latest report put together by the team at Nedbank, it's more than 700 billion rands worth of infrastructure projects that have been pipelined from 2025. We're going to take a look at that and see the state of those projects, or perhaps the state of the financing and commitments towards those projects. Then we're going to wrap up the show, as we always do on every other Tuesday, with a property conversation. We're going to be taking a look at something quite interesting. As we start off 2026, a lot of people might be wondering whether or not it might be a good time to step into the property space as a landlord rather than as a tenant. So maybe perhaps invest in some investment property, convert some existing unused space into an Airbnb. We're going to take a look at the fundamental things you need to think about before you step into that letting space and before you go down that road and want to become a landlord of sorts. So that's what's coming up on the show today. Before we get to that, a quick sense of market movements throughout the day. It's been a better day on the local front, internationally as well, I suppose, if we look at international indices. But the commodities market starting to come back to the party and recovering from the bit of sell-off that we've been seeing over the last couple of days. We are in much better footing on all of the commodity fronts. The Brent crude prices around $66.94 a barrel. Silver's back at $87 just below that $90 an ounce level. The gold prices $4,920 odd a fine ounce, back below from the $4,400 lows that we saw just yesterday. Platinum pricing back at $2,245 a fine ounce. Palladium $1,806. At some stage, palladium was $1,700. At some stage before that, it was $2,200 odd a fine ounce. So very volatile on the palladium side of things, but seemingly starting to come back and starting to show some signs of life again. The resources stocks on the JSE were up about 4.2% as a result of the positive moves. The industrials down 0.5%, but financials up about 0.33%. The all share overall 1.33% to the green, as was the top 40. As I said, the rand 15.96 against the US dollar, 21.86 against the British pound. €1 would set you back 18 rand 85 cents. $1 Australian dollar still more than 11 rand and 18 cents. One Bitcoin $77,000 or 77,800 odd dollars a Bitcoin, or 1.24 million rand, still below the 1.3 million rand level on the price of a Bitcoin, and very far away from the 2 million rand highs that we remember from last year. Quick look at international markets before we go. Biggest win in Asian markets, the Nikkei up almost 4% on the day's trade. The Shanghai index up 1.2%, close second there. The European markets were a bit of a mixed bag. The DAX in Germany finishing 1 basis point to the green, basically flat, but the FTSE in London rather down 0.2%. In US markets, the Nasdaq is down 8% at the moment. The S&P is down 0.4%. Those markets obviously still trading into the evening, so we've got lots to look at there as we wrap up earnings season in the US. I'll be back just after the 6 p.m. news, taking a look at some of those earnings numbers that have been coming out and perhaps what they might give us as an indication of how the US companies are performing at the moment. But of course, that conversation, as I said, after the 6 p.m. news. For now, Ashraf, back to you.
All right, perfect. 6 to 7. Jimmy Moyaha with the SAFM Market Update.
Ashraf Garda on SAFM.
So let's get to the ad hoc committee.
Maybe there was I will remember the name of the Adamaza.
And then tell me, Ms. Patricia, why are you making this up? Why didn't your husband make submissions, or did he and we missed it in regards to this? Because it seems that he was leading in terms of the contact
with ZC Kodwa?
He was, as I said, information about corruption in Free State, and currently not just in Free State. I can now safely say across the country, information of corruption are being sent to us. Because people have built a trust relationship with us. So now, my husband had a very close relationship with General Sithole, the former General of Police, even before he became the Provincial Commissioner of Free State. We also knew that General Sithole was appointed as the Provincial Commissioner of Free State on the recommendations of Ace Magashule. There was these generals in Free State who were very close to Ace Magashule. They called themselves the Premier League. That's where the political interference come in. And as we sit now, even currently with the current premier, there are serious cases against the current premier, but these cases are being covered up. I know the EFF.
Okay. Because it's not part of your testimony, and then we're going to do some sightseeing. But whatever information you do have on that, Chair, I'm going to recommend that our legal team gets that information so we can also look at it. You didn't quite answer why your husband didn't make submissions here. Just
he didn't make submissions here because generally he gets the information and I do the research on the information. So that's why I came to make the submissions.
The names of the agents, do you have them? Are they
Tabiso,
still active?
I even still have Tabiso's number.
Okay.
Tabiso, the other one was Justice, and there wasn't. I can remember on this day when they downloaded my phone. Lieutenant Colonel
Okay,
Gerald
let's stick
Smith.
to, so you have their names. So we need to have their names and it's not. Do you know if they're still operating in the State Security Agency?
I'm not sure if they are still operating.
But we'll need their full names so we can also just follow up on that. Just quickly on, I wanted to ask, you said there was the warrant officer, he became a brigadier, Van der Merwe, and he admitted under cross-examination, this is under 3.4 of your sworn statement, and you submitted an annexure to that effect. So he admitted under that he misled the magistrate. So besides you opening the case, was there any action taken both by the court? Nothing. And then we need, I think you've included the case number here, so this is also something for us to follow up on the outcome of that case, or if it is still open or active, and who was responsible for that.
I just also want to correct the record. He was not a warrant officer at the time. He was a colonel van der Merwe. And relating to the SSA agents, I did report it to the Office of the Inspector General of Intelligence. There was an investigation. I've never received the outcome of that report because the lady who investigated Mrs. Noma Buthelezi was suspended before she could.
So she was in the IG's office who was investigating that.
Yes.
So that's also something that we, Chair and the legal team, would need to follow up if it has been submitted. Is that also part of your annexures, well, copy of the complaint that you sent?
Yes, this part of my
because
admission.
you can see how we didn't get clear the annexures done properly. On 3.8 of your sworn statement, you said Parliament requested a threat assessment from SAPS for you. How did Parliament get involved in doing that?
Because I reported, as I said, I went everywhere, up to the portfolio committee, on the previous portfolio committee on police. There's how the chairperson, there's how they got involved and they requested this threat assessment.
Okay, and then the warrant officer, Marstorp, who did from counterintelligence member who did the assessment, do you know if he's still in SAPS?
He's still in SAPS, he's still in SAPS, and I did send the threat assessment also.
And you have a copy of the assessment in your, or you didn't get a copy of it?
I sent it to Vunani yesterday.
Okay.
So it's there.
And then after the assessment was done, what happened?
SAPS refused to accept the assessment to such a point that his commander instructed him to change the contents of the assessment. When he refused to do that, he was charged departmentally, and he was also acquitted on those charges.
So hence he's still there as
Yes.
well. Okay, so Chair, I'm going to suggest to the committee, we have a wealth of information here of cases that have been submitted to various criminal justice entities. And also, Ms. Patricia, you've also stated that you've opened a lot of cases. So we'd like to just have, I know you've given us bundles and bundles of evidence, so maybe we can just get a list of all the cases that you have opened in your personal capacity, the case number and what it was regarding, and then we as Parliament, we can write whether it's to SAPS, to the NPA, to IPED, to the AG, and not just ask, Chair, for the status of the cases, but we must have an activity report on from the moment the case was opened, who it was assigned to, what was the activity. We want the names of the people that were involved. If the case was just lying there, why was it lying there for such a long time? And I think that is going to help us move, because we can't just continuously have cases opened or not. Thank you, Sis Patricia.
Right, there we are. That's the voice of Leanne Matthys, right, at the Parliament's Ad Hoc Committee. We'll get back to that in a moment.
The Morning Brief.
What is the purpose of the wall? Because that determines the kind of wall that goes up.
What we're trying to do is keep motorists on the N2 safe. There are hundreds of thousands of people that drive on the N2 every day. All of them are Cape Townians. Maybe 0.5% of them are visitors to the city, but the vast majority of them are Cape Townians. And the road has been unsafe over many years. And we've recently seen a spike in incidents, stoning incidents with people's windows being smashed and them being seriously injured. Lots and lots of smash and grabs, particularly in the afternoon peak hour traffic when cars are still in the traffic.
Mayor of the city of Cape Town, Jordan Hill-Lewis.
Tulasizwe Simelane on The Morning Brief. Find the podcast at safm.co.za. As we celebrate 90 years of existence, SAFM takes you back to the voices that shaped a nation.
Now leave the SABC and see the tower block lit up, 27 stories of light. Move from Auckland Park into the shadow of the Hillbrow Post Office Tower.
This is the English service of the SABC. Here is the news read by Patricia Carr. A member of the Planning Committee of the President's Council, Mr. Nick Turnich, has been appointed chairman of the Council's Community Relations Community.
90 years of trusted voices. This is SAFM.
Right, here's another voice. All week long we're saying yes to a first for Africa. So for the first time in its 60-year history, the Montreux Jazz Festival is coming to African soil, and it's happening in Franschhoek. So say yes to the first artist reveal on the Arches stage. Listen to this. Salif Keita, Mandisi Dianties, Bali Munama's Guitar Convergence, and the Kasivan Amabig Band Experience. And then say yes to the Jazz Village with intimate performances by Madala Kunene with Sibusile Qaba and Kwanti Lia, with Herbie Tswale, Andile Yanana, Ayanda Sekade, and Tisonke Konti. You got all of that? Well, more to come, I can tell you. Tickets for the Archers on sale now at ticketmaster.co.za.
You are listening to the Ad Hoc Committee, live on SAFM.
Or do you think it was just a horrific oversight for him not to consult to understand the rippling effect? And if he did it intentionally, it means that there might have been some collusion with CAT, just thinking that, okay, my network here is being infiltrated, and the way we are going to be able to root out those who have infiltrated it is by, issuing this disbandment letter for immediate disbandment.
Honorable Member, I look at data. I don't personally have enough data to make that conclusion.
Okay.
If I had the data, I would bravely say so.
What data do you need to be able to make an analysis on that?
So I think what's important is to go through thoroughly an interrogation with the minister to understand What influenced him? And I think the interactions that he had give some perspective as to what may have influenced him. But I think if you have a more detailed sort of engagement with the minister.
Oh, but we did. We were here for 2 days.
Yeah.
What questions you think we should have asked him that we didn't?
I'm saying this, Honorable Chairperson, as a former member of crime intelligence. And I'm saying this because I have witnessed people who have a variety of skills in actually interrogating and cross-examining people and understanding usually can come with more informed decisions and more informed opinions.
So in summary, I'm going to cut you off. You know, we've got a
Yes, I
chair.
know.
He'll just cut us off as we even breathe in. He'll even tell us to stop breathing. So you're saying that as members of parliament, we're not fully equipped because we don't have the training that you received in crime intelligence. I got the story. No, it's fine. I understand. Let's move on to, you raised the issue of system access and the decline of that, or the blockage of that, how it affected cases. And pretty much because of the issue of privacy, but also the abuse of it. How do you recommend, how do we find a balance to be able to root out criminality and being able to have access? It makes perfect sense that if we see, I like the example that you gave, we see a car, we must be able to pull, and our investigations are taking way too long. I mean, some of it is intentional and some it's just, it's that whole thing of access. We have to get court orders, a whole lot of things. But how do we strike a balance? Because it does open up to abuse. And we also just have corrupt officials in all our entities. So, as short as possible.
Okay. I have to make this example, though. We don't take away firearms from police officers because a few of them, or even a significant number of them, suddenly discharge them irresponsibly. We deal with those individuals. We don't incapacitate the ability to actually fight against crime. So that is my honest opinion. I think that you should not, just because some people or there has been a trend to actually abuse the system, you take it away. No, you deal with that problem, but you ensure that resources actually remain at the ground level.
Do you think it was a deliberate, the decapacitating, as you refer to it, of accessing the systems? Do you think it was deliberate?
Yes, because systems give you insight into persons of interest.
Because once you say it's deliberate, you're saying that our government has no interest in solving crime. Its interest is pretty much to let crime and corruption spiral out of control.
I would not lay it at the square, at the feet of government. I have given a name. I'm saying the instigator during that time was a divisional commissioner by the name of General Mdluli.
But he can't do it himself. That's another thing too.
Well,
it's not something that could be done, and he's no longer there, and the process has continued. So at some point, I guess that's something as a committee we can look into and see how, in terms of recommendations. Because it's not that we are short of even information in this country. It's very easy to be able to access that. I appreciate that. I want to just, I've got two more themes to deal with. The Itwala operation. What was the outcome of that?
In 2012, in 2011, I gave another scenario where a separate group of people had now gone in and started to operate. We could only arrest the one guy. We did not know who he was with. We did not know where they were taking the girls. We only intervened they had come for about 6 or 7 girls.
Oh, okay.
And we only intervened in the one incident, in the one girl, but they take them at the same time. So
did you recover any girls, any of the girls that were moved? So
in 2009 we did. 2011 we just recovered the one girl. 2009 we recovered 6 girls. In 2011 we only recovered one girl. And they operated as a group. They didn't operate as just going to take one girl.
So why do you think, was the operation shut down, or you just don't have any more information about it?
At this stage I don't have. But
so who's implicated in that? In terms of within the criminal justice system that would have, halted or, I don't know, made this operation not continue? Or who's involved that we are still having our girls being taken into rape houses? We shouldn't even call them sex houses, it's rape houses. Sex is consensual.
And that's where I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it. I know they're going to continue all through the night, like 9:30ish, maybe even longer. We will be back tomorrow. Set your alarms now for 3 p.m. for the National Pulse. Thanks for listening, okay? Right now, let's get the news. It's Greg Host. It's 6 o'clock.
Thank you again, Ashraf. More revelations at the Madlanga Commission in protests over selling coal to Israel. Good evening. It's emerged that witness F, who's testifying before the Madlanga Commission, shared sensitive police information with a civilian known as Steve Matsumi. The shared information pertains to a picture of his application to have fingerprint evidence processed by a particular officer. An image of the fingerprints was then sent to Matsumi. Matsumi's name was first mentioned in text messages between the KZN Police Commissioner and Chanchamkwenazi